Las Vegas Discount.net's the best there is. Save up to 50% on your next Vegas trip. And travel, rental, shows, and tours. Find the deals you're looking for. Las Vegas Discount.net. Las Vegas Discount.net. If you're going to Vegas for deals that are the best, visit Las Vegas Discount.net.
FightNetRadio.com with Andrew and Lee, talking boxing, combat, sports, comedy, football, and everything kick-ass. All on FightNetRadio.com. Fight Net Radio!
Hola, soy Julio César Chávez.
And lights out, baby. Lights out all day.
This is Sugar Ray Leonard, and you listen to Fight Net Radio.
I mean, this is ridiculous. It's a radio show. It ain't a one-hour television spectacular.
Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it.
We gon' know. I got eyes and ears everywhere. I got friends all over the world, man.
Who gives a shit with White? He's a piece of crap.
With a tear in my eye.
And the record books.
It's another Chocolito situation, right?
Yeah.
Hi, everybody. You walked right into the middle of our first discussion on Fight Net Radio. Lee Honish, Andrew Lavashave, and Gil Antonio Barragon. Andrew knows better. He knows I'll just hit start when we start talking. I actually told that story at dinner last night. For those of you who are not aware of the archives, you can go to Fight Net. Actually, what I want you to do is go to Lee Honish because all the websites are under construction. You can find a link for Fight Net Radio right there on the main page. It'll take you to our website. You can find our archives. And there are some really good ones, like the time that Andrew quit the show and then I called him back and then recorded him while I was putting it back together, where Andrew realized towards the end of the conversation that I was recording him and called me a dick, which is true. That's a true story. It was a good one. So go to leehonish.com while all the websites are under construction. You can find everything, the Epstein Show, anything that we're working on, Perfect Blue Studios, and that'll take you right to the Fight Net Radio page that is still up and operational. Andrew, would you like to see a really interesting fact about being on an obscure landing page that's not even at fightnetradio.com right now? It's in fact just a temporary landing page. Our Alexa number is 3,881,281. That's because fightnetradio.com doesn't exist at this moment. This obscure landing page exists. And you want to hear the funny fact? It's still more traffic than poundforpound.com. Just thought I'd say that out loud. Visit poundforpound.com. See, I worked in a plug for our friend, just like that. Let's start right off with...
His birthday just passed this week. Happy birthday, Bill.
What is he, 90?
Oh, will you leave the man alone?
Dude, I'm the only one who plugs his page. It might be a backhanded plug, but at least I plugged his page.
That's like calling someone ugly and then going, I'm the only one that comments about your looks.
Right? Yeah. Right. That is correct. And since Bill has little to no sense of humor, it's even funnier. I want to start right off with notes from Sam Navajero, our international correspondent, who will be covering the Tim Tszyu Jeff Horn fight for us in about a week. He had some really kind words, and we will share those. Yes, we review every single show with a guy who's in Australia that doesn't even really speak English and says oi, 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 which I don't get. And whatever. FNR's flow has vastly improved among the three of you. You guys are almost as good as Phil Jackson's triangle offense when he was with the Bulls. Lee's directs traffic well, very well, and Andrew is very generous with his time when it comes to Miguel's contributions. The above balance of the fight content combined with the generous amount of comedy and vulgarity. Am I vulgar, Andrew? Sets Fight Net Radio Radio apart from other run-of-the-mill, bland, vanilla boxing shows out there. You've returned to content that drew me in as casual fans like me, technical boxing talk in the ring and behind the scenes, how the boxing world works talk. Stay away from the COVID talk. We've all heard enough. And what's going on with Lee's personal life, with all due respect. FNR has gone back to being fun to listen to with lots of fearless, unrestricted talk. FNR is a fight show without political boxing agenda, who are not concerned if they offend anyone in the fight game along the way. That's not true. Both of the guys on the other end of this microphone, they both care because they both care. I don't because I don't. Nice try on getting the flag is up on Andrew last week, Lee. You'll do better next time. This is an important part of the show. We hear the passion. I'd also like to welcome back Bob. Need to balance it out with a call in from Oscar. He loves Oscar. He loves Oscar more than he loves Bob, by far. I think they're both ridiculously bad impersonations, but I think they're funny. Recently watched the ESPN 30 for 30 on Raiders called Straight Outta LA. I'm a fan. I've watched it as well. The Raiders just suck because they're not the Chargers. And that's all I got to say about that. I just wanted to share that note because Sam does such a great job of keeping us all very much on track. So I will give you boys dealer choice. We have 3 segments to today's show. We have a metric shit ton of fights from last night. We have a casual shit ton of news to cover. And we have a couple of odds and ends that are just entertaining that I know will work great for video, which is why I had you guys do homework. So, Miguel, you are the least famous of the 3 of us. You get to decide. Would you like to do last night's fights, fight news, or odds and ends?
Okay. Let me see here. Well, I think because we started like on the breakers story, I think we're going to go with last night's fights results.
Okay. Can you form that in a question?
Oh, geez. All right. Let's see. What is last night's fight results for 400, please, Larry?
Excellent. Let's start off with Stipe Miocic and Daniel Cormier 3. See, you didn't see that coming, did you?
Oh, I didn't. Curveball. All right.
Last night, there was one other fight that actually occurred. We occasionally talk about MMA on this show. Stipe Miocic of Ohio took on Daniel Cormier. And by the way, the funniest part of this fight was the tweet from Evander Holyfield during the fight commenting on a mustache during the Junior Dos Santos fight, which to me was hilarious. Evander Holyfield wasn't watching a metric shit ton of boxing. He was watching the UFC fight card. No. I'll start with you, Miguel, because you actually watched this. DC is not a heavyweight. We found out he's not a heavyweight. And when he fights a real heavyweight, he gets beat by a real heavyweight. And this is probably going to continue. This will never get any better for DC. By the way, if you don't know, DC lost by unanimous decision.
Well, if you look at his body, he's not really a heavyweight, right? The guy's 5'7" and fat.
He was the same weight last night as Stipe. I mean, yes, he's not a real heavyweight. He's actually a light heavyweight, and he could probably even make middleweight if he tried. But the reality is, he was 236. Both guys came wrangling in at 236. I think Stipe had him. I think the fight was over when he had that knockdown and the mount at the end of the second round. I think that was the turning point of the fight, and I don't think Cormier ever came back from it. And then Cormier got poked in the eye. DC got poked so bad in the eye, it was almost shocking, and I think that was the end of the fight. Like, I don't think he ever had a chance at that point. So I will start with you.
It's never good when the fat guy is laying on the cage like that.
No, and he was
never a good position.
Stagger back to the corner. And for the record, Dos Santos also lost last night to a very large man. This was the most impressive thing on the fight card. There was one crazy upset. I don't think it's going to go anywhere on the fight card, but this is the one everybody was talking about. This is the first big fight that the UFC has put on. DC versus Miocic. It was a good fight. Miguel, what do you think?
It was a good fight. There's a couple of things that need to be mentioned here. One of the main reasons that Cormier fights at heavyweight, back when he was an Olympic wrestler, which was he from a bad weight cut, like he had like really bad like liver failure or some shit from a bad weight cut. So he was kind of timid when he entered his MMA career to cut any weight. So he just kind of went in there as heavy as he was, and he had some success as a heavyweight. So he stuck around for a little bit until he got his weight cutting under control and dropped down to light heavyweight. And because he could still make heavyweight, he went up. So another thing, these guys are fighting here in Vegas at this Apex, this like, the headquarters where the UFC is at, and they actually have a smaller cage there. So this was
25 feet,
right? A little bit different. Yeah, 25 feet. That was one thing that definitely one that I needed to point out, because it is a small. These guys don't have much room in there, and these guys are big as it is. Well, at least they're heavyweights, so it's going to take up a lot of space. So anyway, that being said. Finger pokes have been a reoccurring trend in their trilogy. It was DC doing the finger pokes in the first two fights, and that actually did happen a few times. I was expecting, harsher, more stern warnings for the finger pokes in this fight. That didn't happen, and turns out, it was actually Stipe doing the finger poke in this time. But yeah, I mean, we found out, of course. We kind of already knew DC wasn't a true heavyweight. When he fought a guy, a talented heavyweight fighter that's a larger frame guy, he was going to be in trouble, especially if he wasn't able to take him down. There were a few times where he did try a takedowns, but he seemed more content with just standing up and striking, because once you're on the ground, it's like, I swear, we're all the same size. If you can take him down the ground, he can do it. But it didn't turn out that way, and I actually was scoring the fight myself. I did have it like one of the judges, 49-46 for Stipe. The only round I gave DC was the first round, where he actually did stun Stipe towards the end of the round. But as you can see here from these highlights, it was pretty much Stipe from then on.
It was. Andrew, did you get a chance to watch it?
No, Lee. DC been in way too many rematches. I don't know. They seem to recycle this guy a lot. Not interested.
He'll be a light heavyweight champion again.
No, he won't.
Time.
He likes to eat. Sorry.
He does. He does like to eat, and I don't think a title shot in his future. I mean, he's already out the door.
You don't have to cut weight, but you could be in shape. Like, don't give me that bullshit. Oh, I can't be in shape.
Whoa.
Yeah,
no one's telling him.
DC's never looked in shape. Ever.
Exactly. No, exactly. Yeah. I'm telling you, he likes to eat.
Even a light heavyweight, he's never really been in shape. He's just thinner.
Because he likes to eat. He's the 5'7", you guys. I don't even know if he's supposed to be a light heavy. What is he, 5'9"? I remember looking this guy up and going, he would get
Rogan brought it up last night that when he really thought that DC could have been a middleweight. Like, he can't.
Yeah, let's pull up. What are you supposed to weigh at 5'9", Lee? Let's pull up how far DC is obese.
Oh, no, come on. Wait, hold on. Technically, based on the mass
the BMI
index. Oh, no, no. He's technically obese at 236.
Yeah.
If you were in your wedding photo, Andrew, like me,
no, he's
I can
good.
safely say that there's going to be a gut on him. I can safely say that.
Yeah, he's good.
Yeah.
No, and I'll tell you why Evander watched the fight. This is a championship fight, bro. Boxing is not giving us a fight like this yet. So, no, I'm not surprised that people were tuned into the heavyweight UFC fight over the undisputed
women's welterweight? Yeah.
Welterweight champ. Yeah, come on.
Boxing by and large yesterday was a shit show. It just was.
It's been a shit show.
Yeah.
Well, and I had this discussion at dinner with a friend last night. I said, and I'll say it again, and it's a recurring theme that I brought up. We as boxing fans have to be prepared to be in an abusive relationship. You're going to come home every night on a Saturday to your fucking drunk husband or drunk wife. For those of you that are little tiny guys who get beat up, I guess that happens. There are men that are abused, remarkably. I don't know how, but it happens. Where you're wondering whether or not your husband's going to hit her. And by the way, this isn't a comment on domestic abuse, so save it.
Yeah, I would take it another way, though. I think soon the boxers are going to become like UFC fighters and start taking way lower checks to get paid. You got to remember, the UFC, they're used to getting beat up by Dana White on the checkbook, right? Yeah, they're used to fighting for fucking pennies. When you're talking about fighters, you're talking about some of the men that make $20 to $30 fucking million a fight. You know how hard it's going to be for them to sign that check for $2 million, $5 million? You really think Canelo wants to do that? Anthony Joshua, these guys, they fucking jump at $1 million, bro. Seriously. The other sport, it's a rich man sport, dude. These guys are gonna have to. They got to dry them out. They got to wait until all the bills are due, and then maybe Anthony Joshua will take a fight, and Canelo will take a fight, and Pacquiao will take a fight, and Terrence Crawford will take a fight. These are all millionaires, dog. Millionaires. Don't get it twisted.
All right. I think we've covered the UFC. Never like we said we don't cover it.
I'm just saying they're in the abusive relationship, not boxing. Boxers are soon going to be in abusive relationship.
Boxing fans.
I hear you. I hear what he said, but I'm telling you, for the fighters, it's worse for the UFC guys. They're used to fighting for nothing. Boxing, look at me, the fighters, they have to get used to this shit. Hey, you heard Eddie Hearn say it again last night. We have a big problem with no crowds and trying to generate money for these guys. How are you supposed to generate $25 million for a fighter and you can't put 80,000 in the arena for Anthony Joshua or take him to Las Vegas and do the biggest fight sold ever? What did Fury and Wilder make? 17 million? 18 million? You ever heard that in any other sport out there? Come on now.
With that said, let's get to our first abusive punch from our significant other last night. Some dude named Trainer fought a dude named Frampton, who is not Peter Frampton. So we didn't at least get music with the show. What we got was the worst no mas in the history of boxing from a dude who showed up. By the way, I believe the Trainer made more than Cecilia Brækhus last night for this stand-in.
That's fucked up.
Yeah.
Is that fucked up? By the way,
I felt sorry for her.
And this quit in the middle of the fight, which is even more shocking. Like, he just, fuck it, I'm done.
Now, wait, you see that highlight right there, though, you guys? Did you guys watch the fight?
Yes.
I saw bits and pieces of it, yeah.
Okay, I thought he had hurt his ribs already, and the dude was just done getting hit there. It's still bad to do the no mas. He should have went down, but seriously, he was taking a beating to that body. He had already been dropped from the body shot.
Fuck it.
Maybe he just had a hurt rib. Fucking said, fuck it, man, I'm out.
I love it. I got paid more than Cecilia Brækhus. Fuck it. I'm done for the night.
I don't think you actually watched the fight then, because they were actually throwing some good blows, and Frampton fucking tore his body up, bro. This was not just one body. This wasn't De La Hoya Hopkins at all. At all.
Hold on. Trainer took this fight on what? An hour's notice or some ridiculous?
He might have. Yes, he might have. But it's still. And you can say he took a dive. I'm telling you, it was a decent fight with Frampton working the guy. And he might have, every time the guy might have taken a breath, it might have hurt. And when he got hit there again, he said, fuck it. He'll never fight on TV again. Don't get it twisted. But this was not De La Hoya Hopkins. I'm not going to say that guy was fighting.
I agree with that.
Yeah, he was in it, man.
I think the dude had broken ribs. I think he got fucked up in the fight. No doubt in my mind about that.
Yeah.
Or a crack.
There you go.
And
there you go.
For sure, he made more than Cecilia Brækhus winning a fight. No doubt. Moving forward, Michael Mick Conlon comes back, and it takes him 10 rounds.
Hey, Lee.
Yeah.
We should announce that Frampton is going to fight Herring?
Jamal Herring?
Yeah, but we'll get to the Jamal Herring fiasco because his fight got pushed back again, too.
Yeah.
But yes, that's the discussion, right? Moving forward, Michael, please let me fight on St. Patrick's Day. Conlon returns to the ring for Top Rank. This time he fights a guy who also made more than Cecilia Brækhus last night by the name of Takeout, which, by the way, he got took out in the 10th round. And Michael Conlon literally looks like he outclassed, outboxed, outsped, out everything this guy, who I think had one game plan of just keeping his hands up for 10 straight rounds until he just got caught. Like, I've actually never, I don't know how a fight can continue when a dude doesn't throw punches. And based on my math in CompuBox, Takeout never threw a punch until finally the referee had seen enough of this dude getting
punching bag.
Yeah.
Way punching bag. My only issue with Conlon is, right, why did it take you 10 rounds, bro? I mean, were you just trying to get rounds? And if that's the case, I'm cool with it, right? But don't try to sell me that you were in a competitive fight for 10 rounds. This isn't like the Otto Wallen, and we'll talk about Otto shortly. The Otto Wallen Tyson Fury fight. I thought Otto Wallen was in his fight all the way, even though he lost the fight. This dude who went 10 rounds just had his hands up. I don't know if it was a rope-a-dope strategy. I don't know. I have learned nothing about Michael Conlan. Nothing. I know that he knows how to flip off judges at the Olympics.
And throw low blows.
And
Got valid fights last night.
And how to beat up Puerto Ricans and Mexicans on St. Patrick's Day. That's all I know about Michael Conlan. He has not fought a single top-tiered athlete. And I'm kind of over the Conlan experiment unless this dude's going to really fucking step up.
Go ahead, Miguel.
Oh, well, we did learn one other thing. He did switch back and forth a couple of times when in southpaw. I don't remember him being southpaw, and he started switching back and forth a few times. So I mean, it seems like he can fight. He's ambidextrous, so that's to his advantage. I do feel like he was just trying to get rounds in this fight here. I wasn't like in the low blows, of course. He got the point deductions for that as well. So he was disciplined for it. He was reprimanded for it. But I mean, ultimately it didn't matter because the other dude's legs were pretty much already gone. He was like noodles by the end of that fight. He was kind of bouncing around the ropes and everything. But yeah, I mean, I like the fact that he can switch back and forth. Yeah, I think it's time for the level to step up at this point.
The level can step up. He's still very young. This is not like one of the European fighters that have been coming over to Top Rank that are already in their late 20s, early 30s, and are looking for a world title fight in the first 3 fights of their career. Conlan went to the Olympics, didn't place in the Olympics, so he doesn't have a big pedigree like that coming behind him where you could say, he was already a medalist and let's move him fast. I think Top Rank knows what they have here. Lee's been hitting on it a lot. He's an Irish kid that's going to sell a ticket for Bob one day. They just got to make sure he's ready for that jump up. And at 14-0, he might not be ready yet. I don't see any problem with it. He's still very young. Nobody's waiting for Conlan to burst out here. Bob has time with him.
There you go. That's Michael McConlan. Coming soon to a racist amphitheater near you.
Oh my gosh.
I said it. You know what? If you fight on St. Patrick's Day and you don't fight other white people on St. Patrick's Day in New York on St. Patrick's Day with a predominantly white crowd that are screaming out racist shit, I'm going to call you on it. I just am.
Yeah. You don't even know if that's true, though.
Allegedly.
You think all the Irish people? You think Irish people are racist, huh? The Irish were at the bottom one time themselves, bro.
Well, I don't want to alienate probably all one Irish listener of the show, but moving forward, Cecilia Brækhus, who is on the verge of becoming the most undefeated boxer in history, blah 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 blah, went to Tulsa, Oklahoma. Fun fact about Tulsa, Oklahoma: in 1949, they killed a lot of black people.
Oh my god.
Yeah, fun fact, right?
Fun fact.
Wait, you ready for the second fun fact? That's where my family's from. Fun fact. So last night, Cecilia Brækhus attempting to break an undefeated streak as unified champion and possibly get herself on the Mount Rushmore of famous boxers of all time, encountered a girl who was 8-0-2. Did I get that right? Like McCaskill's record was like 8-0-2.
9-2. I think she was 9.
9-2.
Oh yeah, well,
8-2. Yeah.
Yeah. When she stepped in,
now
yes,
9-2. Right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Guess what? Brækhus got mugged in the ring by McCaskill. Like, this was an odd fight. It was ugly to watch, but I don't dispute the decision here. I don't think Brækhus did enough. Like, she seemed to somehow let a woman who was literally an entire weight class below her size-wise, which she was. I don't know how Brækhus didn't win this fight. Like, she was clearly the bigger, more experienced fighter, and she literally got mugged by a little tiny girl who came inside and just tied her up and mugged her. Bad reffing in this fight as well. Like, there was way too much punching. I'll start with you, Andrew. What'd you think of the fight?
Miguel hit it earlier on the night when he talked about the judging, the scoring on a lot of these fights, even in the MMA, the boxing, with no crowds. They're coming up some wacky scorecards. But I got to tell you, she out threw Breakus by 200 punches, I believe it said on the punch stat.
Yeah.
When you throw that many more punches and there's no crowd, we always talk about it, Lee. The judges are on four sides, right? They're on all four sides. They all got their one angle. The girls just throwing shots. How do you know the three that have their back or don't have the good view on the fight at that certain moment aren't just seeing the challenger just keeps throwing and throwing and throwing, and Breakus wasn't responding. She had the power shots. I mean, if this was on HBO, they would have been saying, "Oh, the power punching of Breakus is winning this fight," and all of the above, because we've seen fighters get out punched and still win the fights. And this night, that was kind of the reason why they said she lost. And the other girl outworked her. It was a good fight. Breakus, to me, she's another Chocolito. She came, they hyped her up, saying how great she was. What, man? She lasted, 2-3 fights in the spotlight? She takes a loss, and now all of a sudden she wants to say she's retiring. That's it. She's done. They talk, they pumped up that Joe Louis shit way too much. Breakus is not Joe Louis. She never was. 26 title defenses, and no one knows who you are.
Yeah.
It's just sad on Dazen's part. They kept fucking pumping that all day.
Would you like the fun fact of this fight in the first 4 rounds? In round number 4, the funniest thing the commentator said.
Oh, those
Sergio
guys are
Mora.
insane.
For those of you who don't know, Sergio Mora said crazy shit throughout the fight.
Yeah,
Apparently, he
all of
didn't do
them.
his homework. Well, first of all, he didn't do his homework for this fight because I never heard him talk about his homework. Number 2, that's a fun fact. Fun fact number 2, in round number 4, they go, "Okay, Sergio, how do you have it scored through 4?" I have it round to 1 round.
Yep. That happened. That happened.
What,
Yes,
bro?
sir.
Like, and he didn't even follow it up with, "What, bro?"
Yeah,
Like,
we're in round 4.
Bro.
No crowd either, Lee. He still lost track. Hey, I can't knock him. For that. A lot of this, it's like watching a bunch of layups.
He homered for the Dazen girl.
I always got to go back to my NBA analogy on the women's NBA and why it doesn't succeed. Bunch of layups, man. And that's kind of what last night was. Just really ugly. I don't want to be too mean. They probably both kick my ass in the ring right now, right? But
they both would.
They're just not what the men do. Sorry. And it's same thing in the NBA. We want to see guys flying from the half free throw line, dunking the ball. We want to see dudes doing 360s, putting it between their legs, dunking it. These women fighter, man, they just went in there and they toss. They're throwing blows, but a lot of clinching, a lot of hands down, just hitting each other in the head. I mean, it's rock 'em, sock 'em if you like that. But I also like a little bit of counter punching, head movement, a little of all the above. So I get why Sergio might have been looking other places in round 3. Shit's like a broken record.
Fun fact about the fight before I turn it to you, Miguel. If you've got a crown of hair like that referee, where you got the big patch on the back, shave your head. Just fucking do it. Don't do the circular crown. Don't do the Trump comb over. Guys, just have some fucking dignity and shave it off. Buy yourself an electric shaver, shave it all down. Okay? Have some fucking dignity. I am really tired of men. Once they get married, they're like, "Fuck it, I'm married. I don't care." No, you look like a dick. You look like a dick and you're ruining it. I'm telling you that referee is younger than me and he looks older than me at this moment. There's no doubt in my mind that if I looked up that referee, he's younger than me.
Is that Moretti? That's not Moretti, is it?
No, I'm trying to think of his name. He looks familiar. I'm trying to think of his name too. But
right,
I heard you.
Mercanti. Isn't it Mercanti? Or no?
No, I don't think that's Mercanti.
Okay, all right.
All right, I turn to you, Miguel. What did you think of the very strapped down, C-cupped Cecilia Brækhus?
Well, I mean, I was kind of flipping back and forth between a couple of different channels because, I was watching the UFC card as well.
God, yes, there was a ton of boxing and
yeah,
MMA.
right. So it's one of those, like, you try to chase two bunnies and you'll catch neither kind of thing. So I wasn't really like paying too much attention, so I can't really blame Sergio Mora on this one. But like the few times tonight,
it's 1-to-1 after 4.
Yeah, that thing.
Not only that,
my card too.
Hey, Miguel, they spent the whole time saying she was about to beat Joe Louis, and no one's paying attention.
Right.
This is the shit I'm talking about. But
yeah.
Well, and funnier than that, you know what I kept realizing? Sergio Mora does a better Oscar De La Hoya than I do Oscar De La Hoya. He sounds like ignorant Oscar De La Hoya. If you really listen to Sergio Mora, I may just get a Sergio Mora soundboard put together, and that might become the new Oscar De La Hoya.
Those guys remind me of Fight Net Radio.
Oh yeah.
Like they don't
care. All they do is talk shit all day, man. Talk shit, cut each other. It's fucking crazy how one day I think Mora's gonna slap the guy next to him, but.
Oh yeah,
we'll
dude!
see.
I'm convinced he's gonna end up socking Chris Mannix one of these days. I fucking swear, or the other way around, because he shits on Mannix so much. I swear, eventually Mannix is gonna explode on him on air, dude. I swear it's gonna happen.
Well, I'm gonna tell you what it is. Mannix can't keep up with Mora's boxing IQ, so he tries to cut him in every other way. I'm dead serious. You see it right on air.
No doubt, Sergio knows what he's talking about from a technical aspect, and it covers up all his bullshit. I did homework on this fight.
I think at some point they got to get him out of there because he doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about, and all he does is crack jokes. He to me, he's pointless to the fight.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think what they did is they wanted to hire a Lee Honish type guy, and let me explain to you people because I've done play-by-play. It really pisses off pro fighters when you have a Lee Honish in your booth. It really, like I've seen Chemo get mad at me. I've seen real fucking fighters get really fucking mad at me.
Lee, you know boxing though. Maddox, to me, doesn't know. He doesn't know what he's talking about. He's always just bringing up shit he got off Box Rec. Mora always points that out.
Yeah, calls him out on it every time too.
Yeah, because the dude's winging it, man. He's telling you.
Jake Paul undercard, Mannix versus Mora, and I still put kind of my money on Mannix because he's got the size. With that said,
hey, that's what Mora said. He looks fat. Mora was all, "You look fat, bro. It looks like the quarantine's getting to you."
Awesome. Well, you got to do it the way Sergio would, which is the way I was. Hey, you look fat, bro. What's up? Because Cecilia Brækhus fucking. That's the end of that story. Moving forward. The one that set Andrew off while I was at dinner. You almost got a text from my date last night, Andrew. Right. I was literally sitting at dinner and I was reading the referee got this wrong moment. And she goes, "What's happening?" I said, "Oh, there's a shit ton of boxing on right now." And Andrew and Miguel are blowing up my phone discussing a bad knockout. Well, for those of you who didn't see it or don't care to actually watch an entire DAZN card to see it, Madrimov took on Walker. In what is possibly one of the greatest knockouts I've ever seen, where this guy almost does a Superman punch to knock him out. The referee, right there, boom. And the referee waves it off as a push with his elbow. Now, they're going to go back in slow-mo and show this from 45 different angles. I'm not even going to go to that much trouble. That left hand connects. His body never touches his body. They do it in slow motion. That's a straight-up KTFO right there.
Yeah.
And it got waved off.
Yeah, I think the referee thought they might like each other's feet.
And blowing up my phone on the bad
knockout. Look at that, you guys. Look at him.
Yeah, look at him.
That was all from a punch.
Yeah,
this
exactly.
Here it is in slow motion. He literally commits to this punch.
Yeah.
He didn't push him down. Sorry.
He didn't. And you know what? I saw this initially, and I did initially think that the dude blocked it with his glove. On the first time around, I was like, "Oh shit, what the hell?" And then they fell. I'm like, "All right, cool." They tripped over each other's feet, whatever, no knockdown. And then I saw the replays, which I know the referee doesn't have, the luxury of going to the replays necessarily. But there was a pause in this here, so I mean, maybe he could have. But dude, after seeing that shit, I was like, "Oh, that was clean as fuck." He damn near knocked him out of the ring.
He almost made his head do a 360, man. Hey, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. We have seen ESPN stop fights and go to a replay. We watched it. Why didn't the Dazin fucking stop this fight then the next round and say, you need to step down? I'm going to tell you, they tried telling that ref he got it wrong, and that ref blew this he blew it in the biggest way. I don't even think Dazin should ever call this man back. He didn't want to talk to anyone outside the ring. He was all, oh yeah, it was a clean punch, and if his shoulder didn't touch him, he probably did knock him out. What the fuck? What does that even mean?
Well, and
it was
let's
a clean punch. He was knocked out, but because he touched him, I'm giving him 5 minutes.
Yeah,
dude, I'm telling you, I thought the ref had it out for Magnidov. What is this guy's name? You know, whatever his name is. The kid in the white
Russian
trunk.
dude, white dude
Russian guy.
in fucking Tulsa, Oklahoma, where they now hate white people.
I'm gonna tell you, like, soon as they told him to fight again, he immediately gives the guy a warning and shoves him. To me, I think my lady goes, wait, does he have money on the other fighter or what? I have no idea, but it was real weird what was going on in that ring.
Black Lives Matter.
There was one time he hit him, he breaks, and then he asked Walker, "Are you okay? Are you okay?" It was weird, man. That ref hella overdid it last night.
Would you like a fun fact about this fight? Wait, I got a fun fact. Walker, Texas Ranger there, the dude who got knocked out, still made more than Cecilia Brækhus. Just saying it out loud. I think that the white dude's problem is that he's a white dude. By the way, I go back to the Kubrat. Wait, I go back to the Kubrat Pulev fight in California when they had that very weird finish. Guess what? The referees, the head referee, and the California Athletic Commission were all sitting ringside, and I was in contact with my friend who's a referee. They went up and like cleared it up with the referee and restarted. Like they cleared all that shit up. They're not doing it here, and this dude's just fucking losing his mind. Because he just can't accept that he's a dumbass white guy who made a bad call.
All right, so how could we have fixed this? Let's just I guess hypothetically speaking.
Hypothetically, let's just say that the Oklahoma Athletic Commission is not sitting ringside, which they are.
Okay.
Let's just say that there aren't 3 other judges sitting there at ringside, which there are. They all should have jumped up like they did in California when you have a fucking weird ass shit thing like this happen. They all confer and they figure it the fuck out, right?
Okay, but here's the thing. Here's my question.
On ESPN, you guys, they pulled Robert Byrd or one of the refs right out of the ring. It was a total delay for the next round, but you know what? They got it right.
They got it right.
All right, so using this example here. So the dude, he got knocked down, right? And he was pretty bad. Chances are he probably wouldn't have made the 10 count. So do we call it the fight over now, KO victory, or call it a 10-8 and continue with the fight?
I think because the ref messed up, you called it 10-8 and continue with the fight because you can't just wave it off. Even though you guys, he was on the watch, he's gonna fall back to the ground, lay on his back. He gets up. He's walking on the ropes. The ropes are holding him up. I mean, this dude took fucking 3 minutes just to get his mind clear. He was knocked the fuck out. Hey, let me tell you something. I give him credit for continuing. I give him credit for going to fight. I was even not rooting for him because it was wrong what they did to the other young man. But you kind of wanted him to survive after all the beating that he took. He took some tremendous shots after getting knocked out like this. And what was this, the 5th round?
9th round is
ninth round. Oh, all right, so he went 3 more rounds. That was pretty good on his part, but the ref blew it. You know, he just a little over his head. He's not ready for the big time. Got to put him back to the back of the line.
Yeah, I honestly, if I was Walker's corner, I would have said, stay down and play dead and take the technical.
I don't think he was playing dead. I think he's already dead.
Yeah, but his mistake was I'll give Walker credit. Like, he gets up and he's a champ here. Like, fuck it. I got to go. Let's make this happen. I don't care how this is going to play out, but we got to go.
And then he took some tremendous shots. Let me tell you, this was a big change in the fight. Walker was winning that round when that punch landed. The other kid seemed to have punched himself out and was starting to get real tired. And then this lunging shot happens where it was kind of a desperation punch.
It was a Hail Mary, hella.
Yes. It is, because he was that wide open. That's an easy uppercut or left.
But watch. Then they get a 5-minute break.
So committed.
That young kid comes back fresh as hell and starts whooping his butt again. So it kind of helped them out too.
Well, there you go. There's the epic no call of the evening. Moving forward.
That's one of the worst. Look at that. Yeah. That's one of the worst.
No,
no
the worst is now officially here. David Benavidez doesn't make weight, shows up fat, and then let's start with Otto Wallen on the evening. Otto Wallen fought Travis Kaufman, who should go back to motorcycle racing because apparently he's not a very good boxer. Basically, he tore his arm in like the second or third round. I like the whole I threw one punch, like in desperate. What is that? So we'll start right here. Otto Wallen makes his return to boxing in exactly the fashion that I thought he'd return to boxing, fighting Travis, don't call me Travis, that Travis Kaufman. Fat, overweight, with a bad shoulder, who literally hurts his shoulder throwing an arm punch. Not very good, Miguel, based on the future that I laid out for Otto Wallen. I believe that his future is coming to pass exactly as I've laid it out.
Yeah, pretty much like on the money. I mean, look at Kaufman. I mean, I don't want to put down Kaufman. He's got plenty of fights. He has a lot of experience, whatnot. But I mean, just look at him. He looks like he's in terrible fucking shape. Just there, exactly. Like, I mean, we weren't exactly putting Wallen in there against another top dude or top 15 guy. I mean, not to my knowledge, I don't think Kaufman is up there anyway. But I mean, I guess another, keep me busy kind of fight and put Wallen's names at the top of everyone's list again. Just like, oh yeah, this guy, I forgot about this guy. Just kind of, for refresh everybody's memory. But I mean, I don't think this really helped him much. The way the fight ended, the way, he got the victory. I mean, he got the win, I guess. So ultimately, it's like another in the win column and everything against an unheralded guy. But I don't know. I wasn't impressed, obviously. But again, they put his name at the top of our memories again, and like, oh yeah, this guy. So I mean, if anything, they succeeded in that, and us remembering who Wallen was.
Solid PBC signing, Andrew. Solid PBC signing.
PBC fighter. Wallen. Yeah, that's no Kaufman. Oh, is he under PBC now? Yeah, Showtime, I guess so.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
So that's all this was.
Maybe he's hold on. Exactly what I said he would do. Sign with a major company to get on a major fight card.
Major? That's kind of a big
word. Be the champion of Finland.
Showtime.
He's not enough to build on. If he had showed up literally a couple of months after the Tyson Fury fight, it might have been something. We're talking a year later. Nobody knows Otto Wallen. And what Otto Wallen is thinking in this photo, geez, I hope that shaved-headed dude isn't going to show up at the press conference and fucking call me out on everything that he called me out on. Because everything that he said happened was going to happen.
He's like, my manager isn't here to protect me this time.
Yeah, my little 3-foot, 12-year-old manager isn't here to defend me today. Fuck me. What a shit show this card was.
Wallen versus Wilder coming soon. Is that what you guys are saying?
Nah. All right. So Rolly Romero versus Martinez. More of the shit show continues.
No.
Did we learn anything from Rolly Romero and Martinez? Marinas.
I was watching, like, I was kind of flipping through the channels, going back and forth, flipping between fights. I'm a fan of Rolly's. He's a local guy. He's in the Mayweather gym. He's a good guy. He's fun to watch. He's got a lot of KOs. He's not fighting top guys yet, of course, but he's doing his job and taking people out. It's hard for me to say this because I'm a fan of the dudes, but I don't think he won last night. The judging, one of those judges had it like way in his favor, and I was like, what the fuck? Some of these scorecards are really shitty. I don't know if you can pull it up there, but anyway, one of these decisions were just shit. Like, I mean, shit, bro. Romero comes in like swinging for the fences every single time, Robbie Lawler type of fighter, and I dig that. It's fun as fuck to watch, but because he does kind of put everything into every punch, he telegraphs quite a bit, and when he misses, he really misses. So you can kind of see his punches coming, and fighters have the ability to block or get out of the way. And he did land his shots. I'm not gonna say he didn't, but I did like the fact that he didn't really gas himself out. I was thinking, what, if he can't take Marinas out early, he's probably gonna run out of gas, and he didn't, and he kept going. So I mean, I was impressed there that he was able to go the full 12 rounds, but I don't think he won. But he got himself a belt and another belt in the Mayweather gym.
Andrew.
You and about the rest of the boxing world don't think he won. I think the only person that said he won was Floyd Mayweather Sr. last night, or Floyd Mayweather Jr., excuse me, as he fights under TMT's banner.
Fun fact, you cannot drink hand sanitizer. It's very bad for you. Go ahead.
Bill.
Anything else?
Oh, and he did use that elbow quite a bit, with that Floyd Mayweather elbow pretty often.
What is he? The WBA #1 interim lineal next in
interim
line.
diamond, silver, something.
Yeah, it's not the real belt.
Wait until you see the news I have today on those topics.
Oh.
But we'll get to it. That takes us to the most depressing part of the evening. Yesterday on the scale, David Benavidez didn't even come close to making weight and didn't even try to apologize for not making weight and basically handed his belt over. Way to go, PBC. You're just signing him correctly. Missed weight by 3 pounds. Let's start right there. 3 pounds overweight. The dude didn't even really try to cut. He claims he tried to cut and just couldn't get the last 3 pounds off of him. Okay. Don't believe that, but okay. I'll start with you, Andrew. What did you think when you heard the news?
Benavidez hasn't impressed me in a while. He had the drug thing. He lost the scale last time because of cocaine positive test. This time he loses it because he's 3 pounds overweight. Surprisingly, now everyone says he should fight Canelo. I mean, I truly think you're a PBC nut hugger if the dude can lose his title twice, once on the scale, once on a faulty drug test, and you think he deserves the $5 million payday to fucking Saul Alvarez. It's just amazing how the boxing world is sometimes. No, this guy goes back to to day one. I mean, be lucky if you get a title shot right now. Like, how do you trust this man? I don't care that he showed up to fight. It's never a legit fight right now with him. He's always got some excuse going on. So, David Benavidez is not impressed with him at all. I'm not impressed that he won last night against some guy that, what do they call him? World title challenger. I hate that title for fighters. I looked up his record before the fight. The dude comes from Colombia. He's fought an absolute nobody. All the fighters basically had losing records he beat out there. He had one fighter with an undefeated record that I didn't know him either. So I didn't have too many hopes for Angulo. I know he had the power, but once again, these guys that come from Colombia, Argentina, we've seen so many of these power punching. Oh, he has 99% knockout power. They come to America and they never knock out another person. So I don't know who Angulo is. That's why I'm not impressed with Benavidez. I'm not impressed with Benavidez's character, his determination, his body, the way his body looks. Like, there's a lot missing here with him. He does not deserve Saul Alvarez. You guys are fucking tripping if you think this kid should fight the pound for pound king now, coming in 3 pounds overweight in a fucking division he's supposed to fight Saul out.
Miguel, fun fact. Angulo made more than Cecilia Brækhus last night. Go ahead. What'd you think of the fight? And everything.
And everything. Well, okay, so I'm a fan of Benavidez. I am, and I've been a fan. Of course, I'm going to support Latino fighters, of course. So I'm a fan of his. But it's that fucking Chavez Jr. thing. It's like, dude, you keep fucking up. We can only keep supporting you so many times. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
And I don't want to make excuses for him or anything like that, because he was a pretty chubby kid, so weight has always kind of been an issue for him. And he talked about the issues of the pandemic coming in, how having a fight scheduled earlier in the year that was postponed, and then another one that was postponed. He's had like 2 postponements prior to this one. So that up and down of having to like train and then stop again so you don't overtrain and then train again and all of this shit, I'm sure that has something to do with it. I'm not saying that that's solely the problem, but the fact that I'm sure he does kind of balloon in between fights. I think that's kind of a problem for him. But it's I loved watching the kid. I do like him. I mean, I'm not so Angulo, his only like claim to fame, I guess if you want to call it that, was a pretty close fight against Zurdo Ramirez. Well, not close in the sense that decision wise, but he actually stunned Zurdo Ramirez, who I think is the undefeated fighter that Andrew was talking about. But so we saw the power and we're like, oh shit, okay, he's got a puncher's chance. And Benavidez is pretty smart. He's got a decent fight IQ. He's gonna go in there and not get hit with that punch. And he didn't get hit with anything really that was solid. I wasn't impressed with the win. We kind of expected him to win. Everything leading up to this fight with that, dropping the belts. And for the record, he did apologize for it. I mean, he's going to at least man up to it, and he apologized for not making the weight. But if it's going to be one thing or the other, if it's going to be the weight thing, or if it's going to be fucking, his life outside, and he's young, so he can turn it around. He's a young guy, and maybe he's got too many people in his ear. He's doing the stuff that he shouldn't be doing outside of the ring. I can only support him so much. I'm totally cool with the 3 strikes. This is strike 2. I'm still on the bandwagon. I'm not going to say I'm not, but he needs to shape up pretty fucking quick.
There you go.
He's 23-0. We just talked about Conlon having to step up his game at 14-0. That kid's a 2-time WBC champ. Let him fight Gilberto Ramirez or who's the young man from Callum Smith from the UK. Tell him to fight one of those 2 guys. Get back in line, and then maybe you fight Saul. But I don't want him to step back. I want him to move forward. He's 23-0-20. Let's go. Get your shit together and let's go.
There you go. We now turn to the next section of our boxing program for you all this evening or morning or afternoon. I don't know. Do any of you actually go to real jobs anymore? I don't know. But there are still people who listen to this show, so let's move right to it. Andrew, it's your turn to select. There are 2 categories left on the board. There is this week's boxing news, and there is odds and ends.
We'll do boxing news. Odds and ends sounds like a one to close out with. Yes, sir.
I would agree. All right. We start off with the world's largest land mass. Yes, that would be not the Lambert Fissure Glacier in Antarctica that is over 250 miles long. No. We're starting off with the other largest living landmass, Dan Rafeal.
Did you actually look that up?
If that isn't the greatest body shaming segment I've ever done, so be it. Just about 11 hours ago, Dan posted on his Facebook feed. I wanted to start right here. This coming directly from the largest landmass. No, not the Antarctic sheet of ice known as the Lambert Fissure Glacier. For those of you that are, geological buffs, we're talking about Dan Rafeal, the guy who doesn't really seem to have a job anymore. During Showtime's telecast Saturday night, it was announced changes to its 2-part Premier Boxing Championship pay-per-view event. That's the thing that caught my eye. Fuck the rest of this story. First of all, did we know about a Jermell and Jermal Charlo pay-per-view? Did we know that?
Different locations. We did. I didn't know it's going to be, I don't remember it being pay-per-view, but man, it could be wrong.
Remember? Yes. Remember you guys?
Shit. Yes.
The show will feature 3 fights beginning at 7 p.m. Eastern time, followed by a short intermission, then 3 more bouts, likely without spectators. Likely? Where are you going to get the spectators? Good speculation there, Dan. 1 fight added to the show has been, fuck all that. Okay. How is the semantic? Has anybody questioned this other than me when I actually read this going, this isn't like WrestleMania 2 from 3 different cities. This isn't live where we're telecasting from multiple locations. This is Jermell and Jermal Charlo. And by the way, the funniest part of this whole thing is literally reading the 12 comments because Dan doesn't really get people to follow him. But he's got 12 comments, and all 12 of them unanimously say the same thing. Dude, I'm not paying for a Charlo pay-per-view ever.
I told you guys.
And they're pushing forward with this, Andrew. They're really...
Nothing else they can do, Lee, with the money that these guys are demanding. You want to make $1 million right now? Al Heyman probably told them it's the only way we can do it.
Man, this is mind-boggling to me. It's literally mind-boggling. I turn to you, Miguel. Would you, I know what you would do because I would do the same thing, other than steal it live on the internet.
I would never do such a thing.
Ever. VIProw.net. And if you guys want to sponsor the show, I will talk about you guys every week. It's the best site ever.
Good Lord. All right.
It's VIP is where it's at. No. They're not as hard to get through all the commercial ads like some other websites like Front Row. I'm just saying that. Jermell and Jermal, this is such a bad experiment to begin with because they can't seem to keep their shit together anyway. Now we've had a break from having them jammed down our throat every week thanks to Showbox and Fox, that we're not getting a steady stream of shitty B-level fighters, mainly Jermell and Jamal. Now you want me to pay for a pay-per-view? I mean, is it going to be on Facebook or YouTube or something, and it's only $5? Yeah, I'm down for $5 for a clean signal. I can watch it on my phone. I can't. I'll do that. I'll give you $5. I think it's worth. You're going to give me a half dozen fights, and then the Charlos, who I guarantee are not fighting anybody. $5 sounds about right. I mean, I'm not willing to go much further than $5, but I suspect that they're really going to try real pay-per-view with this insanity.
All right.
Go ahead, Miguel.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess I'll take it here real quick. So, for starters, their opponents, if I'm not mistaken, is Rosario, right? That the unified champion. Jason. Yep. Exactly, Jason, and then Derevyanchenko for the other Charlo. And I get the Charlos mixed up, so I'm not even going to try their first name. I'm just going to say Charlo 1 and Charlo 2.
By my recollection, that lost to Triple G, correct?
Yes, and Danny Jacobs and damn near won the Canelo sweepstakes.
I'm just making sure that I know that people often question my boxing memory. There might be 2 Derevyanchenko's in the universe. There seems to be a lot of Framptons in the universe. So I would imagine one just happens to be a very talented guy and the other one's a shitty boxer.
Oh, shit. Oh, man. Well, so their opponents, I'm okay with the opponents because they're actually solid fucking opponents. Still, when I pay for it, it sounds like a decent, DAZN card. I don't know if it'll be pay-per-view, and if it's, reasonably priced, hey, why not? Why not? Because I mean, those two, I think I'm not a big fan of the Charlos, to be quite honest. They are somewhat entertaining sometimes. I don't necessarily always tune in to watch their fights. They're not, I don't feel that they're elite yet. They may get there, that they have the potential to get there. They're not there yet to be, demanding pay-per-view. But still, as a fan, because the opponents, I think, are going to be solid in both of those, I'd be down to watch. Pay for it, I don't know. I mean, I get it.
Especially if
right
it's
now
$79.99.
I think that's my question. Exactly. What would you actually pay for the first PBC fight card pay-per-view? Like, what's the dollar in your mind where you go, yeah, I'm not going to steal it. I'll pay it.
I might do around 40, Lee. I seriously
40 for this?
Yeah. Oh, that's pretty generous.
Yeah.
You are way generous. There's no way this goes past 1995.
Yeah, I say that. I say $20, maybe $25. I think that would be as far as I can go.
If I'm getting high def and I can stream it on my phone or my, I've had this discussion about the Canelo fight when I was in Vegas. The best part of that.
Now you're talking about streaming. Wait a minute. You're talking about streaming. This is going to be pay-per-view, and if you watch PBC, they only do the original pay-per-view. PBC has not done anything with Facebook.
Guarantee they're going to do a stream. Guarantee they will do a stream. Guarantee they will.
Oh, well, they might have to, Lee, because no one's going to buy this. I told you guys that when it was announced. I waited 24 hours. They didn't even have 1,000 likes on the announcement on their social media page, bro. Like, nobody cares about these two. I'm going to tell you, I used to love the Lions Only brothers. Lee knows this. I was totally in on both of them. They looked dedicated. They were knockout punchers. They reminded me of
go to Charlo fights at the Cosmopolitan because of it. I can say
they reminded me of the new Terry Norris of the junior middleweight division. Both of them, both twins. They're fucking identical. So I was all in until they bought into the Kool-Aid that Al Heyman and the PBC were serving. The Charlos and Deontay Wilder both turned on me. They bought into the Kool-Aid of let's just keep our O's and we're gonna make 20 million like Floyd Mayweather because everyone's gonna hate us. But they didn't build up to Floyd. They just believe if they keep an O, eventually someone's gonna give them $20 million because they're undefeated. That's not how it works. Mayweather fought many fucking champions while keeping that undefeated record.
Andrew,
what?
Joining us on the show.
Yeah, I know.
I hear it.
There it goes.
Oh, their O went, Andrew. They don't get $20 million anymore.
Well, one of them did. One of them did.
They're the same person, okay?
Oh, shit.
What made Charlo kind of the gimmick act, I don't want to be shitty here. The reason they're on a pay-per-view together, that's kind of the gimmick. The gimmick is you're both twins and you're both box. Like, I don't want to break it to anybody. If you want to look at where the Klitschko's made their most money, if those two would have fought on the same cards and like did fights together on the same cards, the Klitschko's would now own Russia, I think. And I'm quite positive they would own the Ukraine and Russia at this moment if they would both have fought on the same card because they're so beloved.
I would rather have seen Danny Jacobs fight Jamal than Derevyanchenko. One thing I went back and watched the Derevyanchenko fight with Triple G.
Mm-hmm.
And he was in that fight, you guys, but Triple G is sick. Triple G is still hurting him like in every round. Basically, when Triple G had enough energy to throw a combo, Derevyanchenko looked like his legs were wiggling. I don't know how much of that was. I mean, Triple G literally, they're like he had a fever or cold or something. They're announcing it during the fight. Like you can see he's gassed with air, but he still wins the fight convincingly. I don't know. You know, I just don't. I would have rather have Danny Jacobs. Danny Jacobs and Charlo had a history. These two went at each other. It's social media. They had videos on YouTube of meeting each other in hallways. Why didn't this fight ever develop? So I'm not high on Derevyanchenko. I do like the Hasun fight. That kid is proven. He's the champ. Charlo's gonna fight him. That's a legit fight. Now, is it pay-per-view worthy at what is probably going to be $89.99? Because if you want high def and they got to pay a crew people and all the shit that comes with the pay-per-view telecast, most likely I don't see them giving a discount to us. The PBC never has. No one ever has. So why would they start with these two? I just don't know if the boxing world is going to respond to them. Did you guys see? Do you have the article about Deontay Wilder that came out this week about how he probably did blow it? We all knew it. We knew it when he did it, about not signing the DAZN contract and how his life would have changed when Andy Ruiz knocked
it didn't
out.
come up in the news feed.
Okay, well, they were showing the numbers. The numbers that the PBC gave was always like Lee's calculator: 12 million, this 15 million, 18 million. But then when they were saying what the commissions were saying that they were getting 3 million, 4 million, this guy came way under on his pay-per-view with Ortiz. They didn't even get half of what they were supposed to make their money back with Wilder. So how did he ever make the 18 million that they said he was going to make after pay-per-view? The company lost money, they said. It was in the red. I don't see them going back. I think they cancel the fight, Lee, if this thing doesn't show that it's going to sell on the night. There's going to be a reason why they just postpone it. Bring it back on a regular television channel.
Miguel?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely agree. I don't think, I mean, I'm not sure about postponing, and I think that the date is good. It's just changing it up now. Like, they have plenty of time to change it up now and be like, all right, it's going to be on regular Showtime, or it's going to be on Fox or something like that, because that's where they usually have, Fox or Fox Sports or whatever channel it is that they use. But it's just like, they're not proven pay-per-view draws, like right now, no one wants to pay anything. Like, they're like, this pandemic is fucking a lot of people up. We know this. Some people aren't, they're not working. They don't have jobs. They don't have money to fucking pay a pay-per-view. Like, why would anything be on fucking pay-per-view at this point? Have it on Fox, something that damn near everyone have killer ass ratings, like Twin Bill, the two Charlos, even though they're not, superstars, boxing fans know who the Charlos are, so it's not like they're complete unknowns. But, and then on Derevyanchenko, I do think that fight with Triple G was a lot closer than people, are making it out to be. I think, I don't want to say Triple G won decisively, but, he did win. Yeah, it wasn't decisively. I don't think it was. So Derevyanchenko is more than enough of an opponent for whichever Charlo he's going to end up getting. I'm looking forward to it, but to pay for that shit, I think they have plenty of time right now to switch it up real fast and just move it.
I'll give you $20. Put it on my phone.
Put it on Fox. Fox.
Let me be able to go down to my fucking Wingstop and have a $40 night instead of a $140 night. Fucking get a grip, okay?
Yeah. They're not going to sell if it's $100. I'm telling you right now. No one's going to buy the fight if they comes in at the regular price. Yeah, and they'll have 100,000 buys by your PBC diehards, and that's it. Look, one of the things that used to get fighters on the pay-per-view platform was not Showtime. It was HBO. All casual fans watched HBO. None of them watched Showtime. Matter of fact, most of the time it was the HBO vets that would transfer over to Showtime, and then it made Showtime a little bit of money on the back end of their career. But just starting on Showtime, no, you're not pay-per-view worthy. You got to come from HBO. And the Charlos, they don't have that background, so they don't have the casual fan going, oh, yeah, I know those Charlo brothers. I want to see them fight again. It's not like that for them. This isn't going to work. I knew it when they signed it and they said it was pay-per-view, but it is what it is.
Well, I also want to say this. I think the casual to even the knowledgeable boxing fan, if you put two Charlos in the room at the same time and gave them a Jermel tag and a Jermel tag and said, put it on the right fighter, they wouldn't get it right.
They wouldn't get it right. You're right.
I said, the minute one of them loses, they're done. The gimmick is dead.
That's true. And you know what? On that topic too, the one that did lose, he did avenge that victory. He fought the guy again, Harrison, I think it was, in a rematch, and he did win. But even then, even prior, because he did win by KO. Prior to that, Harrison was giving him the exact same fucking problems that he gave him in that first round. Like, it didn't look like, everything was wiped clean with that knockout, so we're not going to say it wasn't. But, dude, Harrison was giving him the same fucking problems. It looked like that Charlo didn't change a damn fucking thing. He just caught him with that right, and that was the end of it. But, I mean, he didn't look like he changed. He didn't improve at all. He was still giving them the same fucking problems. So, just want to toss that in there.
Which brings up the interesting question, right? And Andrew brought this up. The PBC and the O must go. I'm going to say something that the PBC did right. You built a lot of undefeated fighters. The problem was you built a bunch of undefeated fighters who never fought anybody. So let's just take the case of Deontay Wilder, which is your most unsuccessful case, or maybe successful. I mean, if you're really Al Heyman and you're really looking at this, you made a lot of money on Deontay Wilder as a promoter.
Yes, that's right.
Okay.
Al Heyman did. Deontay was supposed to make 100 and possibly 120 to 40 million.
But if you look at like the Charlos, or you look at their fucking welterweight laundry list of O's must go fighters before they actually had to start fighting real fighters, right? The cases of the Sean Porters being undefeated, almost Thurman being like, they were all undefeated for this indefinite period of time until you got your real title fight, and this is where you're going to start making all the money. All you got to do in Keith Thurman's case, go in and beat Manny Pacquiao.
Right.
He's an old man. You got this. You're on the way to making $120 million every single fight. You are the man. Just go in there and get the job done. And what we have discovered countlessly and time again with the PBC, you made a bunch of second-rate fighters into undefeated fighters. And when they actually fought elite fighters, and by the way, Tyson Fury is the most elite fighter of all time. He beat a Klitschko while he was fat. Then he dropped weight and actually got dangerous. I mean, that Tyson Fury might be the most dangerous man on the planet at this moment. He was dangerous when he was fat. And now he's not fat. I'm just fascinated with the PBC model. I mean, it's not a bad idea. From the very first telecast, with the flashy sets of, building Showtime, Sean Porter, and Adrian all about the billions. Look, we're still talking about Adrian Broner, who is literally, I mean, with all due respect, he's like a Gotti of this era. Like, he's just a guy who is like you know what he is? He's
Character.
More like he's like a Mayorga. He's just a guy who talks a lot, gets into a lot of trouble, gets into the right position, who's a really good fighter. Don't get me wrong. I don't think the dude couldn't stop me on the street and put my lights out. I do. Okay. But you're not a champion. You're not a world champion. You're not even an elite champion. You're a sideshow. You're like, everything about the PBC is this sideshow mentality of, we have the greatest trapeze artist of all times. Oh shit, he slipped and fucking died. Okay, bring the next act in. We have the world's best high wire act. They work without a net. They've done it their entire lives. They are the amazing Oh, fuck, that dude just slipped off the fucking wire face first. That looked painful. That looked fucking painful. Tell me Deontay Wilder isn't face first in the middle of a circus ring going, That fucking hurt. You know what? It was the amount of weight I was carrying to the ring and I blew out my legs. Really? That's what you came up with. That's what you came up with. Mr. I'm undefeated and I'm going to be the greatest heavyweight. Fuck Rocky Marciano and everybody else. Really? Good for you, bro. Good for you. You're wrong, but good for you. The PBC, there is money. Like, I don't know how this group has not been investigated. Like, there's clearly money floating around, and their model that they built on the backs of journeymen. Tell me I'm wrong. The Charlos are legit journeymen. 5 years from today, we're going to be talking about them fighting on an undercard in Detroit. Okay, that's like their future. I'm calling it right now. That's literally the entire welterweight division is literally a future Thompson boxing card from Omega Products, which is a fucking lumber yard in a backyard. Like, that's the future for all PBC fighters. Bob's not going to touch him because Bob's tired of being fucked over by him. There's no way the Matchroom's going to touch him. They'll cherry pick the top talent. The PBC is so dead, it doesn't even know it's dead. And now you want me to pay for the Charlos? You're kidding. That's what you got. You got the Charlos.
Maybe they're trying to milk it before it's over.
Honestly, how is Deontay Wilder not on this card? How is he not on this card fighting just a tune-up?
Because he wants fucking $25 million? Remember, Deontay thinks he's Floyd now. Remember, Deontay, he's telling everyone he knocked out Tyson in the first fight, and he was robbed in the second one because of fucking his costume was too heavy, and he was drained.
Yeah.
Remember that?
And the glove. The glove was tampered with, too.
Yeah, so Deontay wants his $25 million.
And I had sex the night before my fight, so I lost my legs because of my wife. My kids kept me up all night. Shut up, bro.
Too bad COVID wasn't around. I think he would have used that too.
Oh, no, he would have played I had COVID for like a month.
I wish he should just come out and say he tested positive and he thinks he had it during the fight. That'd be awesome.
That would be nice.
Might
as well. I had the symptoms.
Hey, by the way, SaveDanRayfield.com, the largest living landmass, not the Lambert Glacier fissure in Antarctica that is over 250 miles long. No. We're talking about Dan Rayfield. He joins us on the phone with this special message. We hope.
Stop making fun of my weight. The Charlo brothers are awesome, and I am making money. I am paid in food.
Okay, there you go. Thank you, Dan. Moving forward with our boxing news, reverse engineered from last week. We didn't talk about this. Tyson Jones pay-per-view has been postponed. Why? Because it's not selling. I think the other funny side note was we're going to talk about the postponement of this. They're talking about getting ready and money, and we'll have that discussion. The other one, which we predicted a month ago on Fight Net Radio, James Toney shot a video on YouTube this week. He would like to be entered into the heavyweight sweepstakes of Evander Holyfield, Roy Jones, Mike Tyson. It's going to happen, Andrew. My Super Six is just around the corner. We're a few fighters away from this whole thing.
They should be called the Unsuper Six.
Like, it's literally, I know Andrew and I joke about it. We've joked about it for years that people either listen or don't listen or lie about listening to this show. The Super Six is happening. Okay. It's happening. And I'm willing it along with the two of you into existence. Roy Jones, Mike Tyson, who we both said a month ago would do it. Evander Holyfield, James Toney, who we said as an offshoot, shot his video this week. We're at 4. Okay. We only need 2 more for a Super Six of the senior division. Like, we're there. Like, this is really happening. These old fuckers are going to cash in and keep claiming it's for charity. And by the way, I'm going to explain charity because this is where people like behind the scenes shit. A portion of the proceeds will go to charity. To claim that a portion of the proceeds will go to charity legally by law within the United States, it only needs to be 10% of the overall net of the event. That means that Mike Tyson and Roy Jones are still making money, for those of you who don't understand this. And if you don't think that Roy Jones and Mike Tyson aren't doing this for actual money, you're completely out of your fucking mind. Okay? They're getting paid to do this fight. No doubt that's going to happen. So, let's talk about first the postponement of Tyson Jones, which I believe Miguel sent the text this week that it was postponed. So we'll start with you, Miguel. We discussed this via text. Do you think it's the money or do you think it's the training?
No, the money 100%. I mean, that's what that's essentially what they had announced. It was just like, they feel that they can, I guess the specific wording was they feel they can make more money by postponing it a little bit more. So it's like, all right, well, if that's the case, then, by all means, I mean, I'm not down with the fucking pay-per-view. Again, another thing that we shouldn't be paying right now, another fucking pay-per-view, but I get it. They're gonna have to make money. So, yeah, $50 to have a fucking YouTuber and a former NFL or NBA player on the undercard. Yep. I mean,
Well, let me spice up your undercard. Let me spice up your undercard. What about James Toney and Vander Holyfield on the undercard?
No, they already fought. Didn't they? Already fought. No, I want to see. We need to see something fresh. We need to see like James Toney and Shannon Briggs or some shit.
Or Tarver Toney.
Well, no, Shannon Briggs. Wait, we're at 5. You're right. Shannon Briggs has already said that he wants to be in the Super 6. So we're at 5 fighters. Who's our 6th fighter in the Super 6?
Oh, whoever.
Let's throw a dark horse like Samuel Peter or some shit.
Let me tell you something.
Better. How about John Ruiz? Is he still around?
Oh my God, he's gonna start hugging people again. The quiet man. Listen, I was all in until they told me no headgear, no ref, no winner, no nothing, blah blah blah. Like, how is this a real fight? I don't understand why people are gonna pay to watch Roy Jones and Mike Tyson smile at each other and throw jabs.
Or spar. No, it's basically a sparring session. It's a glorified sparring session. And we can pay for that shit?
Yeah, I don't see this working. Maybe it works for Tyson Jones one time, but no one's going to return to the circus act if that's what it is. So all the other fighters that think they're going to line up for the winner of this one, you better make damn sure those two throw blows for reals. There better be a ref. They better look like they want to win, not just make money. We're going to just show up and, you hit me, I hit you, you hit me, and dance around. No, come on. What is it, $50?
That sounds like Rocky 3.
I'm going to tell you another thing.
How about we just dance around this ring and I just throw a jab?
I'm going to tell you something else. You postpone this fight too long, people are going to remember how old you were and how washed you were, and they're not going to tune in at all. It was hot because you were going to have it right away. Let people keep talking, and they're going to start remembering all the times Roy Jones was knocked out, and Mike Tyson was knocked out, and the way Mike Tyson said 5 years ago, 10 years ago, I just don't have it for the sport anymore. I don't want to do this. I'm doing it because I'm broke, right? Does anybody not remember that conversation that he had with Showtime at the end of his last fight with McBride, I think it was? No, this is I was into it when it seemed real. Right now, it doesn't seem real, so I don't know how we might respond with this one fight because you know what? Mike is Mike, and people are interested, and Roy Jones is the best of this era. People are interested, but if they don't fucking sell this fight like it should be, no one returns for Tarver versus Tyson.
Wow. Miguel.
Well, I mean, I'm not sold on this at all. I had realized, I understand the reasoning for them postponing and trying to get more money out of it, and that's ultimately what this is. It's a cash grab. Let's just be honest. That's pretty much all it is a cash grab. But like, I don't want these guys are old. I don't want to see anybody get hurt. I don't want to see anyone get seriously fucked up. How many more fucking shots to the head they can get?
I do. I gotta be. I don't know the stand-up comic that made a joke about this. But there's a stand-up comic who did a joke about letting people play in the NFL way past their prime and just being turned into dust when they get hit on the field. I say the same thing for boxing. It's the same, like it's the Ric Flair scenario. All right, bro, if you're not going to let it go, you're doing a fucking Hell in the Cell match. Fuck it.
Yeah.
Let's just see if we can kill your ass in the ring. Like, if we're just going to
go. Let's do Alex Smith. Alex Smith is about to do that.
Yeah, fine. I'm completely okay with it.
Miguel, there's you know who Alex Smith is?
No.
All right, he's a starting quarterback in the NFL. In 2018, he shattered his leg so bad that they thought they might have to amputate it. Then he got an infection and almost died. 17 surgeries later, 3 months in a wheelchair and a month in the hospital, Alex Smith is ready to return to football.
We're going to kill him. We're gonna Joe Theismann him on the field. And by the way, it's like watching auto racing. Look, I'm not watching auto racing for guys to make left turns all day. I'm waiting for the car crash. I mean, I got to be perfectly honest.
17 fucking surgeries on one leg, and you want to return to the sport. That's insane, dude. You're missing screws upstairs.
And here's the thing, like, it's obvious that they're doing it for the money, right? We know that they're doing it for the money.
No, and here's why it wouldn't be about the money. A guy like that is insured for injuries like that. Like, the minute you get a life-threatening injury in the NFL, you're insured by Lloyd's of London. You're insured by insurance companies who insure your body so you can play the sport, and you pay
Jennifer Lopez has
premiums.
her butt insured. Boop, boop, boop,
Yeah,
boop.
that wrestler Ravishing Rick Rude had a
By the
fucking.
way, you're supposed to go FYI, fun fact, Andrew. Get it right. Fun fact. Right?
FYI, fun fact.
Fun
Ravishing Rick had a Lloyd's of London policy.
Correct.
Yeah.
Oh my God, John
But
Ruiz.
what I was trying to get to was fucking, seeing what Andrew was saying earlier with seeing fucking Tyson, that memory of Tyson just kind of laying up against the ropes there, just kind of like, yeah, I'm done. After that McBride fight, like, he doesn't have it in him anymore. I've only seen that look in a fighter's face so many times, when Eric Morales got knocked down that last time against fucking Pacquiao, and he's just looking at his corner like, nah, dude, that's it. Like, that look, I don't want to see it.
Chavez,
it's like a little wink at their corner, like, fuck this, I'm done. It's over. I don't want to see this anymore. Fuck.
Hey, you see what they always say? I could see the punch. I'm telling my brain to move, but I just can't move anymore.
Yeah, the reflexes is the first thing to go.
Yep.
The Super Six is coming, kids.
The unsuper six. It's the unsuper
Kronk's wait. Read the headline, Andrew. And there is no reason you're going to actually know why I picked this story as the next story.
Okay.
Kronk's Gym broadcast team named. Who do you think the Kronk team could have named as their color guy for their Facebook only broadcast of their shit card in Detroit, the place without water? Let's play this as a game show. Andrew, you get one guess. And by the way, I'm going to give you help. Don't look at the interview because it's on there. If you guys have already,
I would have went with the legendary fighter from Kronk Gym, and that's Tommy the Hitman Hearns.
Incorrect, and he can't form a complete sentence. By the way, I met him at the.
No shit, I met him too, Lee.
Vegas. Yeah, and by the way, Tommy Hearns can't form sentences.
You're a dick.
True, we've got an interview with him. And it sounds like Canelo. All right, cool. That's what Will got out of him. Canelo. I actually have the audio of. You
had it on the. You opened the show with it before, remember?
I had to stop it because he got mad about the.
He was a bad dude, though. Hey, don't tell me Tommy wasn't a bad man, though.
I watched Hearns Hagler again this week, and I still think it's my favorite fight of all time.
I think he beat Floyd at welterweights. I'll tell you that.
Miguel, you didn't read the story, correct?
No.
Okay. Who do you think they picked from the world famous Kronk's Gym to be their color commentator for their first Facebook only broadcast?
Fuck, I'm blanking out on his name, but what is that one dude who was like in, I think he was in like Klitschko's corner or something like that. I'm trying to think of his name. That black dude.
So way off base.
Jonathan Banks.
Yeah, Banks, exactly. Jonathan Banks. I was going to go with Banks.
Are you ready?
No, I'm ready.
Cornelius Canine Brundridge.
Now, how is that any different from Tommy, man?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, actually, that's what I thought when I read it, which is.
It's like a slightly less drunk, fucking punch drunk. No. Tommy Hearns, pretty much.
Holy shit! What are you doing at Kronk's Gym, people? Like, are you guys getting webcams on the corners? Like, how low budget is this? Like, if you hire, wait, hold on, let me get out my Steven Espinosa calculator. Facebook pay-per-view. We use webcams instead of actual camera operators. And we hired Cornelius Canine Brundridge as our color commentator. The whole telecast cost us like $12.95. If these guys sell 12 pay-per-views at $1 a piece, it's a winning night. And it's going to be on UFC Fight Pass. Hilarious to me.
I got the UFC Fight Pass too, actually. I might actually check it out.
I actually like Canine. He's actually a good guy.
They should
but
bring back all the Kronk Gym legends to do something in this fight. Like, I want Tommy to be at least a cameraman. Fuck that. Pay him.
I mean, let's be brutally honest.
And
at
then
this
John
point,
back to be the cable guy.
wait, hold on. Think about this. Season 1 of The Contender at this point has produced Canine Brundridge and Sergio Mora as color commentators. They're on a fucking roll. I mean, all you need now is, a couple more names off that first season. You got that white guy who kept dropping weight, and then you got the short, fat Mexican
Peter
dude.
Manfredo.
Oh yeah, the super middleweight.
Manfredo.
Junior. Peter Manfredo Junior.
Poor
That dude
kid.
got
Didn't they put him up to
middleweight title fights, he got
Calzaghe? That was
welterweight title fights.
Yeah.
He
Fuck
got
yeah.
more title fights than anybody I've ever seen in my entire life, and literally got beat up in every single fight. Oh
Yeah,
my
that
God.
Calzaghe
He works
fight-
construction now, Lee.
No shit.
Yeah,
That's
Peter
better
Manfredo
than-
works construction. It looks like union, but I don't know.
Okay, hold on, Andrew. So we've got somebody who delivers milk, and we've got somebody who works now construction. What's
Does
the better
Spink
job?
work at
Being
McDonald's?
being a delivery person, right? Or
Hey, remember Spinks? He's the manager of McDonald's. Don't forget that one.
ooh,
all right.
McDonald's manager. Jesus
Yee!
Christ! Everyone get an education.
I was the champ.
Get an education.
I was the champ.
God damn it, fighters! Get an education, people. Do you realize what happens once you get knocked out? You work either construction or delivering milk in the Bay Area. I mean,
yes.
or working a fucking McDonald's as a manager with the last name of Mayweather, which is just fucking crazy too.
No,
All right.
Spink. It was Spinks.
Oh, Spinks. It was Spinks.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
All right. This past week, the WBC held its international blah 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 via webcast. During that telecast, lots of shit actually happened. So first, let's talk about the news notes. Apparently, at the WBC meetings, people can go to it, and if you haven't seen it, it's actually documented on Netflix in the Mayaviya story, where they hold a convention where you can petition to fight people. You can change your rankings. There's a lot of shit that goes on at the WBC convention. Apparently, they're the only ones who have it. And there's a lot of shit that actually happened at it this year. So let's talk about it. At heavyweight, advocates of Joseph Parker, Daniel Dubois, Philip, Shamalama Ding Dong, asked for their fighters to be elevated. Let's start right there. Should Joseph Parker be moved? Personally, I'm just going to say it for the record. Joseph Parker should be moved out of the top 10 along with Daniel Dubois. I don't even know Philip. I've got no vowels in my name, Hargovich.
Yeah, I don't know that guy either.
He's number 8 by the WBC, Andrew. He's a top 10 WBC
Yeah, I'm gonna have
fighter.
to look it up now.
Jesus,
Yeah,
that's
Joseph
crazy.
Parker, Daniel Dubas, obviously.
Yeah.
They're even though those rankings
Dubois
seem
and
great
Parker
for them already.
are commodity. Okay, so these are commodities, right? They want to be elevated.
I know.
I could be completely wrong, Andrew. Wait, hold on. I could be completely wrong. Like I don't care about boxing, which for most people who listen to this show, it sounds like I don't care about boxing. Joseph Parker isn't beating anybody but sub-rate opponents, and when he fights people in the top 10, he tends to lose against people in the top 10, but he wants to be elevated past number 6. All right. I think he recently tried to go to Australia, and that became a fucking fiasco. Daniel Dubois. I don't even know the last time Daniel Dubois actually won. Okay. He's going to fight Joe Joyce, which they bring up, and he will be considered a top 5. How fucked up is the WBC? And I realize it's the home of Deontay Wilder. We're having a discussion about Parker, Dubois, and Hervichik and Joe Joyce and the possibility of being a top 5 heavyweight in the fucking world. I start with you, Andrew. How fucked up is the WBC at heavyweight?
Well, they've always been little question marks on some of the guys they have high up in the rankings. Joseph Parker, look, he's come back from what did he have? What kind of
The
spider bite?
Yeah,
Yeah,
spider
the
bite.
spider bite almost took his life. He came back. He got a victory. Wasn't that impressive? I just don't know why they're asking for them to be higher in the rankings. A number 6 ranking is fine. You're top 10 in the WBC. Most likely, you're going to get a shot, even if at number 6. Like, we've seen this happen many times where the champs don't fight their mandatory, but they fight someone in the top 10. So I don't know why they're asking for these guys to be up unless it's some kind of power move, maybe to get one of these guys to fight for the belt here faster than what they believe if they stay at the current positions. I really don't know, Lee. I'm not on the wall on that one.
Miguel.
I mean, like, what? When you're a top 10 and no one's fucking heard of you, I don't know who the fuck this Philip dude is. Like, how the hell is he top 10? How is he top 10 and I don't know who this fucker is? Like,
listen, I'm signing him to a contract tomorrow. He'll be fighting Tyson Fury as a tune-up fight for his tune-up fight, which is Deontay Wilder, against Anthony Joshua next fall when we can put it at the O2 Arena in front of 100,000 people because COVID is fake. See, I got COVID in. I got Bob in. I got everything in with that one joke.
This is bad. It's funny that the fact that they said, like, they're asking to be elevated. I mean, I guess the squeaky wheel gets the oil, I guess, right? I mean, what's the worst that's going to happen? They're going to say no? We're like, all right, well, he stays at top 10.
Have you watched Maravilla on?
Oh, yeah. Hell yeah.
Okay, right. Where they're petitioning and literally looking and they're going, it's his godson. Like, you're not going to get the fight, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Right?
Hell yeah,
and,
dude.
And they're pretty brutal about it in that documentary.
WBC's always been brutal, though. I mean, come on. They take payouts, man.
The WBC looks so bad in Maravilla that it's almost ridiculous. This, where you're trying to take number 6, 7, and 8 and put them in the top 5, and only one of them is fighting someone who might be remotely in the top 20. Like, this is crazy fucking shit. Like, this is really batshit crazy shit for the heavyweight division. I realize you lost Deontay Wilder. I get it. But your history of the WBC heavyweight title since Mike Tyson, Lennox Lewis, and Evander Holyfield, I'm going to go out on a limb. You had a list of really shitty heavyweights as your champion who have fought really shitty top 10 opponents. I mean, to be honest, you guys didn't become relevant. Literally, am I wrong about this? Lennox Lewis would be... No, Klitschko. Klitschko had the WBC belt. So Klitschko is the last real lineal WBC champion. And then you jump to Deontay Wilder as your next notable champion. Yeah. Everybody before that is Bermain Stervine level, or at best, they're Joseph Parkers, they're Daniel Dubois, they're Philip Harvacheks or Joe Joyce's. They have no dignity for that heavyweight belt that Mike Tyson, Lennox Lewis, Evander Holyfield, Klitschko,
and not only that, Lee,
motherfucking Klitschko's.
If you look at the WBC rankings right now, Dillian White, the interim champ, Deontay Wilder, number 1, Usyk, number 2, Ortiz, number 3, Ruiz, number 4, and Oscar Rivas, number 5.
Yeah,
these guys aren't beating any of them. They're just not. So I don't understand this at all.
And then on a plateau way above all, and that's the funny part, on a plateau literally a mile above the top of them is Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua. They're such elite heavyweight champions that if Anthony Joshua or Tyson Fury don't unify every single belt, it literally will be the biggest crime in heavyweight history. Going back to the Klitschko's, whoever comes out of Fury versus Joshua, go get all the goddamn belts, all right? And then melt them all into one belt, and then send them over to the WBC and let them make one paper mache belt for all the belts, because they're really good at making belts. I'm going to be brutally honest. The WBC is great at making fucking belts. They can call it the platinum, the titanium, or the zirconia belt. I don't care. I want one fucking belt.
The Native American, or what is it?
Yeah. Whatever. I'm done.
Yeah, the Mayan.
I want one heavyweight motherfucking champion, and let's just get it. The one thing I like about Joshua and I like about Fury right now at the top of the division, Their attitude is, let's just clear this out. Let's just fight the best guys, which I have personally not seen since Klitschko. I mean, everybody shits on the Klitschko run, but Klitschko fought the top 10 consistently. He didn't go like Deontay Wilder and fought a guy who was number 25 for the belt. That shit never happen on a Klitschko watch.
No, HBO though, Lee. It's HBO. It's not PBC. Klitschko fought for a powerhouse. Fucking Deontay's fighting for a crook. I hate saying that, but I've said it from the beginning. I'm going to stick with it. He's already been to court over the PBC. The judge just told the investors, you guys fucked up. You put your money in the wrong guy. He gets to do whatever he wants with it. And the fighters, they all bought in. I don't think we'll know how much they really, truly got burned until they were all, around 40, washed up, and they realized they don't have any money in the bank. Because all of them were living Floyd Mayweather's life before they were Floyd Mayweather, So that's when we're going to hear about how much Al Heyman burned these dudes on some of these contracts. Not until then. A lot of these guys still think they're in their prime, or they have their undefeated record, so they still have that dream that they're going to become a $20 million fighter. But another thing I'll say about this Joseph Parker, if I'm not mistaken, he's under DAZN now, correct, Eddie Hearn?
Yeah, Matchroom. Yep.
Matchroom. Daniel Dubus is under the other guy, that Frank Warren. Is that who he's under?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good one. I'm not sure. Yeah.
That's a good. I know. I know he's from the UK.
With the Frank Warren comment.
I think he is under Frank Warren.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so if you look at the top 5 that I just named off, those guys are all with powerhouse promotional companies. I don't see Eddie Hearn breaking that yet. Eddie Hearn got Usyk in there, but Usyk kind of did that on his own. No one had to ask the WC to put Usyk in there. He's a freak by himself. So the other guys, you're not moving. The WBC is not going to move top ranks guys out. They're not going to move freaking ESPN guys out. So I don't know. This is a weird one. This is a weird why they want these guys raised when it seems like a powerhouse. If anything, Oscar Rivas is the only guy you could probably move out. I'm forgetting who he just fought. I know he fought on the ESPN card with Top Rank, but he's a Top Rank guy, so I don't even see that move happening.
Andrew, joining us on the phone once again, the Stephen Espinosa calculator. Deontay Wilder, undefeated WBC champion, lives in Tuscaloosa, Mississippi, in a track house, and didn't make $20 million a fight. Times 2. Tyson Fury, where he actually made money. Hold on.
This is a complicated formula.
And by the way, here's the answer. Klitschko averaged approximately $15 to $20 million a fight, married a movie star, and is worth $50 million. Fuck you and good night. I mean, that's the bottom line. The last lineal champion was averaging approximately $20 million, never fighting in the United States, married a goddamn movie star, lives in Santa Monica, and he's worth $50 million by himself, which is more than a goddamn movie star. Fuck you, Deontay Wilder, and all your fucking dreams. Enjoy your track house and your boat on the lake.
He could have fought Klitschko.
Oh,
they
by the way,
they offered him Klitschko fight for $8 million. He passed.
Andrew married his child. He did marry his longtime girlfriend, which makes him very sweet. And by the way, I can tell you this because she will never listen to the show. If I had married Yvonne Hunt, who I was in love with in 3rd grade, it would be a great story. However, if I could get Colby Smolder from the Avenger movies as my wife and be worth $50 million and a world champion, and those were my 2 options at, say, age 30 to 40, like he was, it's kind of not a hard decision, Andrew. It's not a hard decision. I mean, I liked Yvonne as a kid, but what if she couldn't fuck? I mean, I'm just going to be brutally honest. I mean, the thing I found interesting about the Stormy Daniels president thing, I'm like thinking, well, Stormy Daniels knows how to fuck. I mean, if she's got a personality, how bad could it be? Just digressing. Cruiserweight, there is no change. Light heavyweight, nobody gives a shit about. Super middleweight is not really a division. Let's move to middleweight. Golden Boy has made a request. Really? They'd like Jason Quigley to be in the top 10. All right,
Of course
let's stop right there before we move forward.
Shit.
Let's talk about Quigley Down Under. Miguel,
Oh,
feel
Lord.
free to do your homework. Does Jason Quigley Down Under, and by the way, that's a great movie reference and hilarious, and probably Sam Navajero is going, he made a Quigley Down Under reference. Yes, I did. Go watch it. Good Tom Selleck Western in Australia.
Oh, is that the one with the rifle?
Yes, the rifle and the gun.
Open sight. That's a badass. Yeah, he's badass with that.
Badass flick. Great flick. And there's a great torture sequence at the end, and he fucks the dude up just like a good Western. All right, let's talk about this. Jason Quigley Down Under. What the fuck? I mean, listen, Quigley's good, bro. Like, I don't even know what you guys are. First of all, let me just say, it's nice to be back on the show, bro. It really is. I mean, I know the pendejo Andrew's on the show, and he still hasn't fucking come correct about his shit in my past, right? That's fine, all right? I was a world champion, and I was doing cocaine and sticking spoons up strippers' asses. It's all good, bro. We're good, bro. We're good. We're good, bro. Okay? We're good, bro.
I'm trying to find him.
Go quickly.
Yeah.
Hold on, I'm stalling for both of you.
I have it up on BoxRec already.
I don't want to break the fourth wall in the middle of the joke, but I'm stalling for both of you to try to figure out why Jason Quigley should be moved into the goddamn top 10.
He shouldn't. Well, the only reason is because
he's not the animal, right? He's not that guy, right?
No. They're trying to make him more legit for fucking Canelo. Canelo. He was on the. What?
Listen, I got the whistle in that time. I mean, that's actually a very funny Hispanic joke all by itself.
Yes.
You and I got it. Andrew didn't, which is really the funny part of that joke.
It wasn't that funny to me. What the fuck? Are you serious?
It is fucking hilarious, dude.
Quigley, Jason Quigley. I'm spelling his name.
Listen, bro.
Fighters.
Quigley should fight Canelo next at middleweight. All right, bro.
His name was brought up.
And here's
that's
why.
the only reason.
Quigley
he's
is
14.
a fucking world champion, and he should be in the top 10. And I'm not saying that because I got to buy hookers for Suleiman. I'm not saying that. I got to buy a lot of hookers for Suleiman.
And a lot of soup. Shit. Oh, no, that's Bob. Never mind. That's Bob.
Right. Hookers for Suleiman. Suleiman wants cocaine and strippers. Ooh, all right, get it right, bro.
He can party.
Get it. Come correct.
I don't know why I can't find him. Hey, can you screenshot?
Are you really?
I've looked over his name fucking twice. I'm literally. I've looked at his name twice.
Are you Chris Mannix?
Animal and John Quigley.
I'm just telling you, at this moment, it took me one search for the whitest white guy, Jason Quigley.
Oh, well, you know what? I'm on BoxRec. I didn't do that one. Let me go.
There you go, Jason. Google. There he is.
Hey, it is Al Animal. I told you it was Al Animal. Oh. Yeah, there it is.
Animal from, listen, this next song is not a rebel song. This song is Sunday, Bloody Sunday. He's another fucking Irish white guy to get beat up by Canelo. All right, so here's who he's beat and wants to be in the top 10. Fernando Marin. I was at the actual Hanger Costa Mesa fight.
Losing record.
Abraham Cordero, Torino Johnson, Eklund, Hernandez, Rosario Cruz, which sounds.
Look at all their last 6 fights, you guys. Look at the last 6 fights of his own opponents.
He beat Tapia back in 2017.
That's a prospect that, hey, good point out, Lee. That's top ranked prospect that never developed.
Actually, that's not a horrible win.
Yeah.
But
if you look at his record when he fought him, he was on 2 defeats. He was on a 2-fight losing streak. That is horrible.
Jorge Melendez, I was at that fight. James De La Rosa at T-Mobile, I was at that fight. Freddie Lopez at Fantasy Springs. Actually, I went out there for that fight. Oh my God, I went to most of his fights, and I can't even remember this fucking guy. I'm telling you that all these fights from Fantasy Springs forward, I didn't go to the Belasco fight because Oscar was doing those downtown LA fight, bro. We're just going to give them knives, and we're going to fight at the Belasco. And by the way, the Belasco.
Hey, we didn't talk about that. Keep going. Hey, bring up the fighting in the street with Dazin, though, in a little bit. I thought it was cool.
The Tulsa fight?
I think it was a cool idea, yeah.
Where you could see the actual police cars in the background.
You could hear sirens, yes. And you could also hear sirens. People were like, what's going on?
Nah, that happened all night. Yeah, yep. I saw that. That was another fun fact from that fight. All right, so basically, and I'm actually shocked by this, I was here I was here.
Oh, you know everything about this kid then, Lee.
No, I can't even fucking. I didn't even know he was white until I looked it up. I thought he might be from Australia with the last name of Quigley.
No, he's like Irish,
Hills.
but like actually he was born in Ireland, right? But he's just like
How is
I don't
he
know.
not?
All of his pro fight.
Hold on. If he's from the Valley, why didn't he? I get that he went with Oscar, but why didn't he go with the brothers out in the Valley? The one who died. Guzin's in the Valley. Guzin's in Ventura. Like they put on fights.
Oh, I got another one. Fun fact. He said Guzin. What was the kid's name? Molina. John Molina. He just got a sheriff job. Yee! Now he's a sheriff in his town.
By the way, sheriff is way above McDonald's.
Yeah.
Contractor and delivering milk at 7-Eleven.
He made something with his life.
Yes,
Sheriff
sir.
is way better. Sheriff is way better.
So that's another one for you.
John Molina. That's a good job. That's a good job.
Him and Shaq will probably be working together.
It won't be in a year when the world goes to shit and everybody defunds the police.
Hey, imagine trying to fight that cop, that sheriff. She's gonna knock your ass out, boy. Like, don't do it. Don't do it.
This show has just gone off the rails today. And by the way, listen, Jason Quigley, bro. Listen, fucker. All right, El Animal. I named him that. All right. He's the next big white guy to get knocked out by Canelo. He'll be in the top 10 in no time. Fucking Oscar. God bless you. Moving to the division we care about.
Hey, Lee.
Did I do my cruiserweight joke?
Can we say, hey, Lee, can we say that as all of these people were asking Suleiman to give their fighters raises in the rankings, they were also giving Suleiman raises in his pocketbook?
We're about to talk about that with the next story.
If he cashes your check, your fighter gets a ranking position. Yes, sir. That's how they find out.
Listen, that's not true, bro. And I'm not saying that I bought him, gave him cash, and actually sent him my personal collection of wooden spoons, or even my fish
Oscar De La Hoya.
For his wall.
Oscar De La Hoya and Eric Gomez gave Manny Pacquiao a suitcase full of cash in the Hard Rock Cafe Hotel. Fun fact for you guys. Manny Pacquiao accepted the two suitcases of cash, put them in his trunk, drove over to Bob Arum, and Bob Arum said, "I'm suing you, you stupid fuck. How could you accept this money?" He got to give it back to Oscar. Drove back to the Hard Rock Cafe, gave him money right back.
Fun fact. Hard Rock. You know what? I'm so sad about the Hard Rock becoming a different hotel. Like, that's where I actually got to meet the Fertitta brothers. That's where I met Dana White in the early days of the UFC. I'm really sad about the Hard Rock. Hard Rock has great memories, but I digress.
Yeah.
That takes care of middleweight. Welterweight. Some talk about lower rated fighters. Nothing involving the top 15. Yeah, you know why? Because they're all PBC. Just saying it out loud for everybody. Any other division you guys care about? Because the only other interesting fact to me was there are two of them. Super featherweight top rank request. Yes, he's about to join the show. Shakur Stevenson should be number 2. I'm just telling you. Listen. Back in the days when I was promoting Jack Johnson, he wasn't ranked, so we had to get him ranked. So I had to buy off the mafia, the mob, and some promotional people, and a bunch of people in New York. I mean, I got to be perfectly honest. He was black in a time when it was black and white. And I wanted this guy to be champion, and I wanted him to get championship fights. In fact, recently I was watching a Ken Burns documentary about my fighter, and he got it completely wrong. The reason Jack Johnson couldn't get the fight against white fighters or get the title was strictly because I couldn't make the deal with the governing bodies. I'm just being brutally honest. It wasn't a black and white issue. It was how many hookers and how much alcohol, because it was prohibition. It was a big deal. How much alcohol I could get in for Bugsy Siegel was really tough on me back in those days, Andrew and Miguel. So I really wanted this fight to happen, and that's how we wound up in San Francisco, because the fags up in San Francisco said, sure, let's do the fight up here in Tahoe or San Francisco. By the way, that is great historical shit from me. And I just made Bob 120 years old. With that said, my favorite part of the meeting was minimum weight. The name of the division will be changed back to strawweight. You guys actually had a fucking meeting to name minimum weight strawweight.
Oh, that sounds stupid. Minimum weight sounds dumb. I didn't even know they changed that.
I thought that was only for the ladies. I thought it was only for the women boxers.
Yeah, I like strawweight. Sounds a lot better. Hell no.
I love the fact that on every weight division, they're like, okay, super welterweight, what do you have? Tom Loeffler would like to approach and ask that Cheryl Buchanan be moved up as number 14 and flip out with Neo Inoue. And what are you talking? Like, all the shit you guys are talking about is just crazy shit.
It's all about the checks, man. I'm telling you.
Talk about
this is like a bid. They're bidding here for rankings, you guys.
Yeah. Oh my god! And the fact that they did it publicly.
Going once, going twice. Sold the Golden Boy. Number 4 ranking for Pablo Cesar Cano.
Yeah.
Well, no. Here's the interesting part, Andrew. Up until this year, you couldn't go to the WBC convention in Vegas. Like, you just couldn't show up as a human being and go, I'm going to sit here and watch Sergio Martinez get fucked by the system.
Well, they have them everywhere, though, Lee.
Like, it literally took...
You know where this...
like Cozy Man or some shit.
Yeah, they have them everywhere. You know where this one's going to be? The next convention for 2021? Thailand.
I got to go. Go.
It's going to be in Thailand, man. Fucking pretty cool.
I've got a couple of bucket list sexual dreams, and I think they require.
Oh my god! I knew. Well,
jeez.
Of course, I gotta hit every topic for Sam Navajero, and I think I'm hitting them all completely. And by the way, shout out to Carl Freitag for doing every single weight exactly the way they did. This is the most fun I've had at the WBC convention, which takes us to our biggest story of the week. Yes, you heard it here first. Mauricio Suleiman was reelected as the WBC president.
Of course he was.
Oh, wow. He got reelected.
Wait, first of all, was anybody running against him? I don't want
to. No, exactly. The guy actually died of a suicide.
Are you shitting me?
No, I'm just playing. I'm just fucking playing.
That would have been good.
That would have been the best breaking story of all time.
Right off a fucking cliff. Whoop.
Yep.
In a shocker and a close race, Mauricio Suleiman was reelected as the WBC president. This story is actually a press release, so I'm not going to read it because that means it's bullshit. If there ain't a name under that headline, it's a bullshit story. All right, so Mauricio Suleiman is reelected. I'm going to guess he was run against nobody.
I should have said fun fact. Damn it.
Fun fact, nobody ran against him. What's the title of today's show? Fun fact. There's a lot of fun facts.
Anybody in the company that voted against him was probably fired the next day. That's how he got reelected.
In the head.
Yeah. Yeah, that too.
God damn. What a fucking corrupt organization. Like, I have been watching movies that are all based on the mob and like things of that nature. How does the WBC, and by the way, I've met Mauricio Suleiman. I have hung out with him. I have ate hot wings with him. I have shared beverages with this man, and I find him to be engaging and interesting and brutally honest. Okay, I'm not going to shit on the dude. Like, what he does for political gain and monetary gain within boxing is, let me see if I get the word correctly. Miguel, please judge. Irreprehensible.
Oh,
did I get it
that's
correct?
A good one, yeah. Oh, that's good. Gorgeous. Right.
Yes. He is possibly, outside of his father, the most corrupt man short of Don King ever in the history of boxing. With all of that said,
he kind of learned from them too, right?
Yeah, probably. Most likely.
And I got to be brutally honest. The one day I got to spend with him up close and personal, because nobody was. I say this to everybody.
Fun fact.
If
I got
you
a fun
get a chance
fact
to go to the boxing.
Fun
fact.
I got a fun fact,
Lee.
Lee.
You can go to the boxing. All right, go ahead.
Don King is the one who worked with Suleiman to help him with Al Heyman. Al Heyman did not approach Suleiman when it first started. It was Don King talking for Al Heyman, which might go back to your Al Heyman isn't even real.
Well, Al Heyman isn't real, and I've never met him. And I know a lot of people in boxing, and I digress. Fun fact, if they reopen the Boxing Hall of Fame in the back of an axe throwing place in the back of a mall in Las Vegas.
Oh, yes.
That's really funny, right?
That is
Actually,
fucking hilarious,
you got that
bro.
joke. I got that joke. And 2 other people who listen to the show got that joke. Actually, all the writers got the joke. All right. If they ever do another WBC event and Suleiman is there, go to the event because the thing doesn't fucking draw fans at all. And you can literally talk to Suleiman. And by the way, Andrew, I'm going to say it for the record. I kind of like the guy. I mean, I get that he's a complete shitbag, but it's like every other guy that I've ever met who's connected. I like Bob Arum. I think he's connected. I think he's a little sketchy. I like Oscar the times I've talked to him, but he's a little sketchy. Suleiman is way fucking sketchy. Okay? Way sketchy. I got to talk to Mikey Garcia that night, and I got to talk to Suleiman. Suleiman was very brutally straightforward. Like, I asked shitty Lehanish questions, right? And he was like, no, I paid for the belt. No, I'm not asking for any sanction fees. Like, he was really brutally straightforward with who I was. And if they rank those fighters, I'm just... I digress. Anybody surprised by the re-election at the convention? Anyone?
No.
Anyone?
Not surprised by the unanimous vote either.
The Holly Smoot tariff bill. Moving forward. WBA, this is one of my favorite stories of the week. The WBA, for those of you who don't know, World Boxing Association President Gilberto Jesus Mendoza tested positive for COVID-19 this week, proving once again that COVID isn't fake for everybody who seems to think COVID is fake. All 3 of you. He only had mild symptoms, which happens to most people that are in some level of shape. By the way, if you're fat or old, you're going to die. I'm just going to put it out there. I think this is interesting. I think this is why we're still seeing the bubble, why we're not seeing the push forward for boxing. The WBA, which, tell me if I'm wrong, is still the lineal championship, correct, boys? The WBA is the lineal championship, correct?
I think as close to lineal as you can get, yeah.
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 It's the oldest belt.
Yep.
So you've got Bob trying to put on fights. You've got crazy Eddie Hearn doing shit in parking lots and on his plantation. You've got Oscar picking multiple desert locations. You've got Dana White picking islands or his own personal training center. COVID's not going to go away. And what we were discussing earlier, let's talk about this. This is reinforcing the whole, you guys don't like the shitty decisions. I don't want to break it to you. Let me tell you what COVID has taught me. And I know we talk about COVID a lot, but this is a big deal. COVID scoring is different than live scoring, period. Let's move to remote rooms of judges scoring. I'm making my push right now. I'll start with you, Andrew. Fuck it. Put them in a fucking room with 5 different camera angles. I'm done with all the horseshit. Here's what we've learned without a live crowd. Your scoring is different. You are
but they're scoring bullshit fights. We're not going to get a change until Canelo loses on a decision. Then you might get a change, or Anthony Joshua. But these fights right here, I don't know if we haven't seen no one big lose a yet, right? So until that happens, I don't see any changes.
Okay, so how big a fight is it going to take where they go, all right, we're just going to put 3 judges in a fucking hotel room, give them 5 different camera views. They're going to sit here privately with an armed guard in front of the door. We're going to score it live on TV. There's no more bullshit. How long is that going to, how long does it take? I mean, look, in baseball, you get a hit, you go to first base. In basketball, you make the basket, you get the fucking basket. The only thing you can review is a foul. In football, we're about to see what happens without a crowd and what that really means. I think the games are going to be scored. We're going to see 100-point games. All right, with no pressure on those quarterbacks, that game is going to be it's going to be like pickup football. I swear to God, I'm telling everybody about the football season right now. There will be 100-point games. These people are going to put up motherfucking points like it's Christmas morning, okay? Here's why. There's no pressure. There's no pressure to stop the pass. There's no pressure to make the tackle because you don't feel 100,000 crazy-ass Raiders who probably smuggled in handguns to shoot you in the head if you catch that pass. I mean, I got to be brutally honest. I don't want to play in Philadelphia. I don't want to play in the Raider Stadium. Okay? Those are really scary motherfucking places. So that sport's going to be affected. Boxing has an opportunity right now to go, all right, let's bring in replay. Let's put judges in. Let them review the rounds between the fights. Let's really see who wins the fucking fight. And we're not doing it. We're still doing, but we saw it with the UFC last night. That dude got poked in the eye. We saw it last night.
Yeah.
We showed that dude got knocked out. What are you doing? Like, stop this shit. We've got review in baseball. We've got review in the NFL. We've got review in the NFL. Why are you two fucking fight platforms holding out? And by the way, it's not going away. Your WBA president's got COVID, so we got to do this for at least another 6 months to a year. Let's make changes. Andrew.
What are you asking, Lee?
Do you want the changes, or do you really want,
do I want the changes? It's not about one. It's about what we have to do right now. I don't see the crowds coming back. So I think we need Manny Pacquiao to save boxing. I really do. I've said this before. I'll say it again. He's the only one that is a veteran to the pay-per-view. He's a seller. He's a ticket seller. He's hot. If you can get Manny into a fight and put it on pay-per-view, I think we can get a lot of these other big-name fighters back out fighting again if they see Manny can be successful at doing it. I think Golden Boy would immediately run to Canelo and say, let's go pay-per-view with no crowd. We can get this done. Canelo will sell a ticket on pay-per-view. I do believe that. Certain fighters will. I even think of Terrence Crawford with the right matchup could sell a pay-per-view with no crowd. And Terrence Crawford isn't a $20 million fighter yet, so I totally think that's capable of doing for him. But we need someone to step over the line. For me, that fighter is Manny Pacquiao.
Flag is up, and away they go. Al
That's what's about to
Heyman,
be.
Manny Pacquiao, Andrew Labouche on the outside. It's a three-horse race. It's a three-horse race down the backside. Andrew Labouche breaking a good point randomly, even though it wasn't the topic. Coming around the backside, he's got a three-horse link. Running hard at the game. He's running hard at the game.
Hey, are you saying
outside point scoring? He's running hard. He's running hard. Oh my God, his legs broke at the final.
It shattered.
Al Heyman putting on a Jamal Charlo pay-per-view.
Damn it. Damn it.
You never win, dude. Don't bet on yourself. Womp. And by the
I'm
way,
like the rider that fell off the horse, but the horse is winning.
That's one of my best flags up to date.
Hey, one time, Lee, I put $60 on one horse. The fucking gate opened up, the jockey falls off, and my horse is in first place. Fuck out of here, man. The fucking horse.
If you don't have 40 pounds on your back, you're going to run faster.
He fucking beat the whole thing without a jockey. Why do we even have jockeys?
I will tell you the story of me going through rehab with a jockey who this is a true story. So we sat around a table in rehab. This is 1993 when I first got sober. And by the way, if you're wondering, I'm still not sober yet. That's coming soon. That might be Wednesday. And I've got to teach Miguel how to put shows up if that's the case. All right. So we're sitting around a table and everybody's doing, what's the greatest sports moment you ever listened? And I'm not going to say the name of this jockey. So one guy goes, I was there for the Ronce Lopez Dodger win. One guy goes, oh, and they're all breaking it down. Like they're all doing great moments. I was there for the Raiders in LA for their first, like it's all coming around the table, right? Comes up to the jockey who I will not name. It's when I came around the final corner of the Kentucky Derby and I was 2 lengths in the lead and I knew I was going to win. I went, that's not even fucking fair. Like, that's not even like a thing. Like, we didn't say in it. We said, watch it. He goes, well, I watched it. He said, I kept looking under my arm at all the fucking horses that were behind me, and I knew I was going to win the Kentucky Derby. And I went, I guess that qualifies on some level. Miguel, are you a fan of the open scoring and locking up and getting rid of the old fuckers and people who are at least under the age of 40 scoring and just fucking changing fighting, period. And let's get it over with during COVID so that when this is over, we can actually have real fucking people win real fucking fights based on real fucking decisions.
I don't, to be honest, I don't think it's going to change. I don't think right now we're not, it's not going to change, right? Exactly. Well, here's the thing. But here's the thing, we all know that when it comes to like the big names, and this is one of the reasons why I was going to touch on earlier with Andrew, until one of these big fighters get that O off they end up losing through one of these shitty decisions. I don't think that's going to happen. When you're a judge and you're seeing a close round, you're going to give it to the money maker, right? You're of course going to give it to the money maker because he wins and it makes the thing go longer. That same judge may have another gig down the line and everybody makes more money and everybody's happy except for the fans with the shitty decision. But it's like it's not going to fucking happen. I really would love for them to be.
What if he throws 200 more punches?
Oh well. Wait, misses or lands?
This is lands. It doesn't matter. Just 200 more.
All right, I'm going to throw in a curveball. Let's say you're Julie Letterman and you're blind as a fucking bat.
Shit.
It gets scary, man. It gets scary.
To fight worse than Julie Letterman. Like, I will go with a different joke other than Julie Letterman, but my God, she must be the most inept boxing judge in the history of New York boxing. I mean,
I don't think it's not going to change. I would love for it to change. I would love for us to see those guys in a room, remote viewing, right, with as many different camera angles. Because the thing is, there's a reason. So there's 3 judges sitting on 3 different sides of the ring. Why? So they can all get different angles and they can try to capture as much as possible. Well, the thing is, these boxers or these judges, they can't consult with one another. They can't be like, oh, you missed the punch. I saw it from this angle. Oh, okay, cool. In that case, I'll give this guy the round. They don't talk to one another. So what good does it do them? It's not like rear view mirrors where you're looking at the rear view mirror and the side mirror and all this shit, and they all communicate to you, and you're like, okay, I come back out of this car. It's not how it works.
Let me go a step further because I don't know if I don't think we have casual boxing fans, but I'll say this for the casual boxing fan. We've all sat ringside, and we've all done the same stupid thing the first time we sat ringside right next to a judge. You can't talk to a fucking judge during a fight. Like, they can talk to nobody during the fight, theoretically. Although we've caught it on video, we've seen it a million times on video, where the commission or the head referee or the head judge or somebody will come over and talk to one of the judges. Even theoretically, they're not allowed to talk to them. I've done this sitting ringside. I didn't know it until the first time we were actually covering fights live, maybe 2008, 2009, and I went out to a fight in Woodland Hills, remarkably. And I sat next to a ringside referee. And I tried to talk to him between rounds. He's like, can't talk to you. I'm like, oh, because state rules. It's actually a unified rule. And I went, oh, the shit you learn while at a fight, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You can't talk to a judge. The only judges, the head judge can if there's a weird foul, which we saw with the Kubrat Pulev fight down in Costa Mesa at the hangar, where they all got together and went, this is fucking wonky. Now you, the guy who's in the ring, go talk to those 3 judges and inform them of the decision that we as a collective have come up with, which is why I still don't understand how last night we didn't have a fucking knockout of that fucking dude, or at least a 10-8 round. It's really it's just fucked up. Lock them in a room.
Yeah. Exactly, and different rooms, exactly. Because there's a thing, you put them in there in the room by themselves, well, not by themselves, maybe with an additional person.
Put them outside
and
the
then
door.
as many monitors as possible, because they can get every fucking angle. You know what I'm saying? And then, granted, they're gonna still miss something, I'm sure, right? But they're trying to look at all these fucking angles.
Miguel, that's gonna be like Wait, and here's the argument. But Miguel, that's gonna be like Olympic boxing. It won't be the same. Actually, you'll get a real decision. I mean,
it won't be the same 100%. It'll be better, actually.
Right. Yeah. I agree. Hold on. I feel Andrew's texting me that our 2 hours are up. All right, I'm going to land the jet, and we're not going to do odds and ends. All right. Andrew?
No, I say we do odds and ends. That's what I said. Let's move on. I'm ready for Mount Rushmore.
All right, let's do it. We're there. Let's move to Mount Rushmore. This past week, our dubious president decided that he wanted to be on Mount Rushmore.
Oh Lord.
Which is the funniest shit ever. And I'm not going to get political because Andrew told me this week, bro, people don't listen to us because we're political. They want to forget shit for a while. I'm just telling you that it's funny that Trump wants to be on Rushmore. And here's why. If I were president, I wouldn't want to be on Mount Rushmore. I'd want to be a McDonald's character. I'd like to be the new character McRiblet, okay? And I walk around dressed as a giant rib, and I only come out once a year for about 3 months. I wouldn't want to be on Mount Rushmore. With that said, I tasked the boys with one task. What is your Mount Rushmore of boxing? Because I don't think anybody's actually ever done it. So we'll start with you, Andrew, because you brought it up. Who is your Mount Rushmore of boxing?
Now, Lee, when we did this is any boxer, right? Not just American fighters?
Connected with boxing, any commentator, any. If it's boxing related, I'm going to allow it.
Then I would say Joe Louis, Sugar Ray Robinson, Julio Cesar Chavez, and Manny Pacquiao.
I like it. I like it a lot. Do you have any reasoning behind your picks?
Joe Louis, because he was so big to the sport, especially when he defeated, who was it, Max in front of Hitler?
Yeah.
Max Schmeling, great time for us in the sport. Sugar Ray Robinson, because he's the man that created the pound-for-pound ranking. We would not think of littler fighters if it wasn't for Sugar Ray. Chavez, for the dedication that he showed all the fighters from his time and to now. And Manny Pacquiao for the same reason. These two guys are everything that boxing needs. They fought often. They won. They went multiple divisions. They took on all comers. So Pacquiao, Chavez, Robinson, Lewis is for me.
Strong. And that's a good Mount Rushmore. I turn to you, Miguel Antonio Barragan. Did you do your homework?
Oh, you best believe I did. All right.
I did mine as well, and it wasn't hard for me.
Yeah. All right. Well, I mean, just to kind of rapid fire here and not take up too much time, because I'm sure I can get a paragraph on each of these guys. But I'm going to start first with John L. Sullivan. You know, I'm not. Oh, by the way, I'm not a fucking historian by any stretch. So I miss some guys, but anyway, you know, he's the first guy considered the heavyweight champ in this gloved era that we have.
Let me ask about the John L. Sullivan versus Jack Johnson argument, right? Because I don't think Jack's going to make your list based on where we're going.
No.
The first black champion. Does he make your list?
No, he doesn't.
Okay, so why John L. Sullivan over Jack Johnson?
Simply because he's the first. Number one, he's the George Washington. He's like the first, essentially. Yeah.
Fair enough.
All right, and then of course that cool little line of his that says like, "I can lick any son of a bitch in the bar," or whatever,
right?
Right?
Makes you a racist. I'm just saying it makes you a racist. I got Black Lives Matter moment.
Through my friggin' my list here, but we're gonna start first with John L. Sullivan. Then
I like it. Strong.
All right, cool. Then we move on to Joe Louis. Of course, what he represented, of course, we kind of, it sucks, but America kind of like borrowed him for a little bit during that time. And it sucks where he ultimately ended up at the very end. But I mean, his impact, I guess his significance during that time of like turmoil is kind of a big deal. And he's a black man. So, I mean, that's a pretty big deal.
Hashtag Black Lives Matter.
Yeah. BLM.
And then down your pitchforks.
Right, and then the next one, of course, Muhammad Ali. Not necessarily because of his boxing, because I mean he did dance around a lot. Yes, it was beautiful as a human. Exactly, the Muhammad Ali Act for boxers. It was what he gave back to the sport. It's not just what he did inside the ring necessarily. So, the Muhammad Ali Act, I think that's kind of crucial. So
nice.
Shout out,
very strong.
Everyone, if you're completely snapped on the topic, go watch When We Were Kings or literally any Muhammad Ali fucking documentary.
Yeah.
I watched one this week about Ali versus Holmes.
Mm-hmm.
It was almost, I had to turn it off. It was actually too painful to watch.
Yeah, it's sad.
Terrible.
Hey,
terrible.
Miguel, let Miguel finish, but that was sad. I seen it too, Lee. I seen it too.
All right. And I'm going to kind of cheat here, guys. I'm going to throw in an honorable mention. All right, just to kind of, before I get to the last one, Floyd Mayweather was almost going to be on there, not because of what he's done with the sport, but in a sport where a lot of guys are left, broke and slurring their words at the end of their career. He was able to do it differently, and he was able to come and get it, make his money, and leave the sport, or quote unquote leave the sport, with most of his, brain cells still intact. So the fact that he was able to do it, not that, and now he's giving back, of course, with Tank Davis and Devin Haney. But anyway, he was going to be one, but ultimately I decided on, of course, I am of Mexican descent, Julio Cesar Chavez. Why wouldn't I? Senior, right? Of course. Again, he was a champion of the people. He was a people's champion. He would, the fans. I feel like he was kind of that. I don't know. MC Hammer trying to bring too many people with him kind of deal, so he had this entourage and shit, right? That kind of deal, like to bring too many of his homeboys with him. So but he was a champion of the people, and one of my earliest memories of boxing was when he beat Meldrick Taylor in 1990. The boxing. Right. The boxing world was barely coming down from the high of Mike Tyson losing to Buster Douglas, and then this should happen in March with his fight with his killer ass, St. Patrick's Day of 1990, that killer ass fight with Meldrick Taylor that I still remember vividly as a child. That's one of my earliest memories. So of course Chavez is on there. Yep. Oh, all right. So just to recap: John L. Sullivan, and then Joe Louis, Muhammad Ali, and Chavez Sr.
Nice.
Strong. I don't have a problem with either of your lists, but both of you are wrong. First of all, First of all, I thought about just going with white boxers just for my personal amusement.
Okay.
And then I thought about just going with people who kind of made the sport great. As much as I hate him, Don King is important to the sport of boxing. Does he deserve Mount Rushmore? I don't know. Did I go to the promoter route? In fact, I went the completely different way, which is you got to be undefeated. You got to be a champion. You got to be the lineal champion, and you got to be the man. And I don't want to break it to anybody. There's a very short list of undefeated male champions who were lineal champions or held multiple titles that actually to be deserved in this conversation. So I'm going to start with the fighter that we have talked most about on this show for literally 14 years with Andrew.
Oh, wow. Good one, Lee. Totally
Andre motherfucking Ward is the greatest motherfucking fighter of all time. Fuck everybody. Fuck you. Fuck the horse you rode in on. He's, Andrew, quote the fact, he hasn't lost since the age of what?
14. And that's with winning the gold medal in the Olympics at the age of, 19, I believe? He was very young when he wins the Olympics. But yeah. No, he went through it all.
Fuck everybody. That's the greatest motherfucking fighter of all time. And why you guys don't see it, and I saw this at other fights when we posted our Andre Ward when he fought Kovalev. Everybody after that first fight, especially in the boxing room, and a lot of people that I respect who run groups were like, he got lucky. He really didn't win that fight. Okay, he'll do it again. And he did it again, and he beat the fucker up. He beat the fucker
by knockout.
Up so bad. He beat Kovalev up so bad that he was never the same fighter again.
The Crusher was gone after that.
That was the end of it. And I'm telling you, after that first fight, I'm telling you, I'm not going to say the groups or the people that I know in Las Vegas where I had fucking physical conversations where they went, it was a bullshit decision. I'm like, you guys don't get it. Andre worked that shit out. This sequel is not going to go the way you guys want it to go. This is... Andre Ward might be the single greatest boxer of all time. I would like
definitely got an argument. I would say that he has an argument.
I liked Edwin Villario, except that he killed his wife and committed suicide. But
except for that,
next one on my list, and you touched on it, Miguel. Dispute the Floyd Mayweather thing. I mean, did he pick the right time? Did he do everything right? Did he do a lot for the sport? Did he make a lot of people watch? Did he really fight Canelo? Did he really do all these things? I don't want to break it to you. We watch a lot of boxing based on Floyd Mayweather. He might be one of the single most influential boxers of all time for making us want to watch the sport of boxing, period. Anyone?
No, I agree. I mean, like when we say Mayweather, we think of Floyd. We don't think of Jeff, or we don't think of Roger. We don't necessarily think of his father. So we think of Floyd Jr. Exactly. He made that fucking name great, man.
And he did it correctly, right? He made us hate him like a pro wrestler. We watched.
Well, I feel like he needed to. He kind of needed to. He was such a defensive fighter that people were like, "Damn it, just fucking hit him." Like there are other defensive fighters who weren't exactly like uber pay-per-view kind of guys. Guys that like Purnell that were opponents, were great fighters, but I mean like pay-per-view status. I feel like Floyd had to go another route, and he's like, you know what? I'm gonna be this fucking character. I'm gonna make people hate me, so they tune in to watch me get my ass beat, and then I'll fucking smoke this fighter.
I've said this a million times.
The only argument I have on Floyd is he never unified, you guys.
Dude,
you're right. He never unified. Yeah, that's right. That's true.
Let me tell you how crazy it is that he sold the fight based on the fact he couldn't read. Okay, that is so far out there in American society. Look, the one thing I want to believe about America, I believe that there's food. I believe that there's shelter on some level. Some people choose the other way. But I believe that there's an education system where everybody is taught to learn and read and write. Floyd Mayweather wanted us to believe, to sell a fight with his best friend, 50 Cent, that he could not read. Okay? And sold it to the point where it blew up and trended on Twitter. Like, that's mind-boggling to me. There were actual people who are like, Floyd can't read. Are you out of your mind? This dude's cashing $1 million paychecks. Like, you really believe this dude can't read? Like, you believe that this is a real thing that's happening in front of your eyes, where Floyd physically can't read? I'm saying it. I'm going to go to my grave saying it. When Floyd Mayweather, before he dies, writes his tell-all book, if there isn't a chapter about how I convinced the American and world population I couldn't read, that is the greatest hoax. Outside of like the War of the Worlds, Orson Welles, there are aliens invading radio telecasts, that I have ever seen in media history. Like, for that alone, you get my vote to be on Mount Rushmore. You convinced people to buy a pay-per-view because you couldn't read. Are you shitting me? That is fucking brilliant. In next position, Rocky Marciano, 49-0, never went down, was the world champion. And he did it in a time when nobody did it. And he did it by not being a great fighter. Like, I don't want to break it to any Marciano fans. He was a shitty fighter who took a lot of punches and just waited until people ran out of gas. And he was world champion for a long motherfucking time based on that topic. And lastly, I was kind of torn on this one between Ricardo Lopez, who I have a great, deep fascination with.
You know what, Lee? Fun fact.
Yes. Go for it.
Ricardo Lopez undefeated his whole career, also like Andre Ward. Two good names he pulled up there, bro.
Here's the reason I'm not going with Lopez. He got the one draw.
Oh, the blemish.
He comes back to beat that man, though. Didn't he beat Ricardo?
I get that. He's millennial. He's WBC, WBO, WBA, and the early days of the WBO, right? Ricardo Lopez, who we've talked about, who was around forever. I like Ricardo Lopez a lot. And it came down to Calzaghe and Lopez for my final spot. I went with Lopez. I like Ricardo Lopez.
He's strong, man. There's a lot of people that used to think he was better than Julio Cesar Chavez back in the day. Now, another argument, never unified, but 200 amateur bouts, never took a defeat. 52 professional fights, never took a defeat. That's 300 men. Come on now.
And honorable mention to England's one and only halfway decent fighter, Joe Calzaghe.
Yeah.
Middleweight and light heavyweight weren't a thing back in those days. And I don't want to break it to anybody from the late 90s and the early aughts. I mean, super middleweight and light heavyweight just weren't the same as all the other weights. Joe Calzaghe was a stud. Just a bona fide motherfucking stud. 46-0, walks out of the end of his career. WBO, IBF, the Ring Lineal, WBA, WBC, the Ring. That's studly, bro. That's studly. I mean, And then my honorable mention, just because I don't think he will ever get the credit, and he will be forgotten in boxing history. And I say them collectively as one unit. The motherfucking Klitschko brothers. Like, you guys just get them in boxing. You knew it was going to happen, right? Why do we just brush over the Klitschko brothers as never happening? Like, I get it. One was the WBC champion and the other one had 19 belts. I get it. I hear you. But both of them fought all the top 10 guys for literally a decade till one of them wanted to become a politician and the other one wanted to bang a really hot superstar in Hollywood. I mean, I don't want to break it to you. That's the heavyweight division from like 2000 to 2010-ish or 2010 to 2018-ish. Like, there's a weird transition. But the reality was it was all Klitschko all the time for close to 20 years. Period. They took it to Europe. They only defended in Europe. Go fuck yourselves. Mike Tyson's career is literally like 5, maybe 10 good years tops. Okay. The Klitschkos were decades of dominance. Lennox Lewis was 5 years. Evander Holyfield was 3 years. The Klitschkos were decades of dominance. Decades. They just got
Come on,
solved.
baby. Come on, baby.
There you go. That'll do
You
it.
got my first win of the day, boys. 8-1 and 2-1 on a $4 exacta. Yes, sir. That's money in the bank.
Feel you've had a complete show now, Andrew?
Hell yeah. Hey, I want to point something out. I loved your picks. I want to point something out. Go to Steve Octay. Go. I think he's up. Past Joe's Calzaghe. Go up on the screen.
Mm-hmm.
This week,
Jim Barry.
where's the Steve Octay? Go find that guy again. This weekend, when Cecilia was breaking the record, Dazin showed a... Huh? There you go. Super middleweight right there, 34-0. Dazin showed undefeated, like a list of men that had multiple title defenses inside of their divisions. Steve Octay, or Sivan Octay, however you say his name, and Darius Majowski.
Ben Octay.
All right, there you go. And Darius Majowski were both on that list. And what's sad about that, my man Roy Jones never fought either of them. He's in the same era as both of these men, and he passed them both, and they were on the list for the most title defenses ever in their eras. So that's a knock on Roy Jones right there. I didn't see that one coming.
All good picks.
Majowski, if you guys don't know about Majowski, they stripped him of every title in the light heavyweight division so Roy Jones could fight replacement guys, Johnson, DeValle, all these other guys instead of the real unified champ. That man ended up losing to, who was the Mexican at light heavyweight that fought Roy Jones? Does anyone remember? It was Roy Jones's only other pay-per-view event. It was against a Mexican that was undefeated.
From Vegas, right? Wasn't the guy from Vegas too?
Probably. Yes. What was his name?
Shit.
Hold on.
We'll look it up here.
Yeah, it's a good not 13-6. They're hella Roy Jones.
Hold on.
Oh shit.
There's a lot of Roy Jones.
You gotta have the junior.
You just do it the right way.
Yeah, right.
Roy
I have his picture in my damn head. I can't think of his name.
It's like, is it Augustine? August something?
Go down. Come on, Lee. Go down.
All right. Hold on.
Where is it?
Where are we? How far back?
Light heavyweight. It's got to be light heavyweight, and you're looking for a Mexican. Come on, man.
Hold on. Jesus, he lost to Joe Calzaghe. That
going down, still going down. That's Tarver going down. Come on, keep going.
Can you believe the fucking people Roy Jones has beat and lost?
Oh, Julio Cesar Gonzalez, 27-0. Julio Cesar Gonzalez right there goes to Germany and beats Majowski in his hometown. Roy beat the shit out of this Julio Cesar Gonzalez. Yeah. I don't know what the hell he was thinking, but he never faced that man. So that's a little knock on Roy Jones. Those two fighters in his era are both.
Can we point this out since we brought up Roy Jones, who everybody talks about as walking on water? He does. All right. Like, he beats Tarver He loses to Tarver. He loses to Glenn Johnson, which, by the way, we've had him on the show back in our past. Glenn Johnson is just a freak of nature, okay? This whole thing destroyed the Roy Jones legacy.
Yeah.
Two to Tarver and 1 to Glenn Johnson. But the reality of me bringing that up, he comes back and beats Trinidad. You did lose to Joe Calzaghe, who is arguably one of the best. You beat Jeff Lacey. You lost to Bernard Hopkins. I'll give him credit. The dude took fights. I mean, he's no joke. I mean, Roy Jones didn't seem to have any fear.
At the end of his career.
Yeah.
At the end. I got to tell you, in the beginning of his career, he was one of those guys that said he wasn't going to put himself in a hard position because he didn't want brain damage, which is good. But now at 51, he's fighting Mike Tyson. So what the fuck?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
He's part of the Super Six, Andrew. He's part of the Super Six. Yeah. With that said, keep tuned in, keep registered. If you guys want to go to our website, go to LeeHonish.
Great Mount Rushmore. Great Mount Rushmore.
It's a great route. I think everybody is completely okay, even though Miguel is clearly a racist for not.
Evidently, yeah.
Evidently. I mean, I needed vulgar.
Yeah.
Go to LeeHonish.com while the websites are under construction. If you want to go to our website, there you can find a link. It's really quite simple. Just go to LeeHonish, LeeHonish.com. Click on Fight Net Radio, and that'll take you to our same webpage that we've always operated. It'll give you multiple platforms. You can watch the video of today's show. We were watching everything we were talking about. That is Miguel Antonio Barragan. Follow him on social media at FightFiendMigs on
Instagram and YouTube.
And follow Andrew Labouche on Facebook because that's all he can do.
That's right. That's damn right.
Yeah, it's fine. Everybody
have a good day, you guys.
Wait, I'm going to say it. Everybody above the age of 40 is on Facebook. So I don't know what the problem
Whatever,
is.
jerk
Boxing
face.
fans are above the age of 40. And if you want to follow me, just type in LeeHonish. Most remarkably are the number of searches done about me. And sadly, most searches are done about my name. For both of my co-hosts, this was an amazing show. We hope you subscribe every week.
Fight Radio! FightNetRadio.com with Andrew and Lee. Talking boxing, combat, sports, comedy, football, and everything kick-ass. All on FightNetRadio.com. Fight Net!